Good evening, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Happy weekend, happy pre-Valentine. Um, Welcome to SKTV. Welcome and welcome. Welcome to today's edition. We have a lots of unfolding events and eventualities that we will be discussing here. Um, let's share the show, please. As you come on, let's share the show. As you can see me, I'm in my Barcelona regalia. I'm ready to roll. Yes, I don't know what Sekou would think about this, but Sekou Fona is because right now Barcelona, a lot of we cruising. While Arsenal trying to play around, they should be winning this thing. They're trying to play around. We cruising. But let's share the show, guys. Share the show, please, and please let's share the show. Share the show, guys. Please and please. Let's share the show, guys. We anticipate a very, 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 very interesting show here. As you can see, the topic, the possibility of opposition unity. We will be joined here shortly by Sekou and the folks on the radio in Liberia. So please, we're getting other news as well. We'll talk about other news here. A lot of things is happening in our country. So share the show, guys. As you're coming on, share the show, please. We want to talk about the possibility of the opposition uniting. We also want to talk about the possibility. We want to look for CDC in a political landscape, where they are or where are they at this current moment. Please share the show. I'm fired up. I'm excited. I'm ready to have this conversation. We'll also be exploring other news going on around the country, in the world. So let's share the show, please. Let's discuss the possibility of opposition unity. Please, let's share the show. Like I said, I'm in my Barcelona regalia. I don't care what you say. I'm 100% Barcelona fan for years now. I'm talking about all the new beginning I joined Barcelona. I'm talking about the real Barcelona fan. And we don't want to discuss it. We're not talking about who joined Barcelona temporarily, for different reasons.
Yago ni mayasio,
I think we're back here. We had some huge interruption. I'm not sure if somebody was trying to hack the show or what was going on. I was a bit confused here, but we're back on. It's good to be back on. I think you can get this sign of relief from our voice. Somebody will put a cash app up here. Don't worry. I think we're back on. We have some huge technical glitch or problems here. We'll get to the musical break, but let's welcome our folks. Let's welcome those of you following us from Liberia, from around the world. Let's share the show, guys, please and please. As you come on, hit the share button. It's I don't want to use the word crazy, but it's very interesting. It's amazing to be alive at this point, at this time. In the United States, we are anticipating the Super Bowl. This is Super Bowl weekend. Interestingly, the Super Bowl is being held here in Arizona at the Glendale Stadium here in Arizona. So we're looking forward to following the Super Bowl here from our end. Some of you who the American football today is more like the final, and what we can say in soccer. It's like the Champions League final. So that's exactly what we're experiencing here, the euphoria, the momentum. We have lots of people from out of state, lots of visitors. The city is packed, jam-packed. There's a lot of people in Phoenix today, a lot of people. And so, hey, we anticipate this. We know that it's not going to be for fun. Tomorrow we'll watch the Super Bowl. I know me and Sick will be watching it. Last time we watched the game, I'm originally from Philadelphia. Let me put it that way. I landed in Philadelphia when I came to the United States. I got family in Philadelphia. I stayed in Philadelphia. As a matter of fact, I played for Junior Lone Star in Philadelphia. And so I have a lot of connections in Philadelphia. Still have my family live in Philadelphia. I visit Philadelphia often here and there. I love the Eagles, but unfortunately this time around, I will have to go with the Chiefs. I would be supporting the Chiefs tomorrow, not the Eagles. I don't know, Sekou can kind of take me on that one. I want it on him, but nobody's stupid yet. I'll be supporting the Eagles, the Chiefs, not the Eagles. Nope, we're not following. I'm not going to be supporting the Eagles tomorrow. Yeah, we're not supporting the Eagles tomorrow. Unfortunately, guys, I'm not going to be supporting the Eagles tomorrow. So we wish the Eagles good luck, but I just want to be clear and open that I will be supporting the Chiefs here. Unfortunately, that's just what it is. I'll be supporting the Chiefs here. Somebody said I should please get to the point. If you run out of data, you can go. Well, I know Roger, brother. But welcome to the show, anyways. I will be supporting the Chiefs tomorrow. That's just the nature of this competition. You know, you gotta support. You know, I'm seeing a lot of people from the East Coast saying that the Eagles would win. The Eagles, they have an advantage to some extent. They've had a tremendous, successful season so far. They've been very good. Let me give them credit to where credit is due. They've been very good. They've played beyond and above expectations. But you never know. Those kids from the Chiefs, there's something else. You know, they can pull up anything at any time. They can pull out a shocker. You know, this is sport. You know, you can't just. You know, it's sorry, but guys, I've got to go for the Chiefs. We talk so the organization, bro. I gotta go for the Chiefs. There's no way I'm going for the Eagles tomorrow. There is no way. There's no way I'm going for the Eagles tomorrow. You know, it's just not possible. Be going for the Chiefs here. And whatever they the outcome is, we will take it in goose drafts. We accept it, but we definitely should be a good game. It should be a good game. But let's today we have an interesting conversation here. We encourage you to share the show. I already see people started venting out some of their views. I don't want to say frustration. Some of the wishes. Very good. We're anticipating a very good conversation here this afternoon. Like I said, we'll be headed to the radio very soon. We'll be joined also by Sickle. We also like to locate the CDC at this current moment. By right and by all expectation, believe me or not, you would expect the CDC to be, on top of their game, in charge of things and running things. But it seems like the CDC is, I don't want to use the word struggling, but they seem to be struggling. They seem to be in a situation they can't handle, as evidenced by what's going on. And so we'll be discussing all of those things here today. We'll be laying all options on the table to this whole opposition unity. Opposition should come together. These are things we'll be talking about. We're not going to shy away from the conversation. That's not going to happen. We know that's not going to happen, and you guys know that. On SKTV, we talk about the things that people don't want to talk about, the conversations that people try to shy away from or, ignore. We try to get into those conversations as much as possible. This issue of opposition unity, we're going to weigh the pros and the cons here today, and we're going to have this conversation from a liberanistic, nationalistic, patriotic standpoint. But let me just say that I can just let you know now that some people will get in their feelings because the show will get heated, the show will get noisy. The reason for which you want the opposition unity, we got to go through those reasons. And let's be open-minded and be factual. This is, we have this conversation. We have other news. But let's use the opportunity really quick to recognize some people, our viewers and our listeners. As you write, will recognize you. Some people can. Just before we go to the musical break, let's try to recognize some people here really, really quick. Let's try to recognize some people really, really quick here. If you write, we'll recognize you. If you don't write, we wouldn't know that you're here. So please don't feel overlooked if we don't recognize you. Evelyn Hill, Evangeline Hill, welcome to the show. Joseph Conto, my man, what is going on? I think, Joseph, I saw you for one of the very first time on I was passing around on Facebook, minding my business. I saw you. I think you were invited somewhere and you were making a case. I listened to you. I said, oh, okay, so that Joseph Conto made like me getting on hard time. Cyrus, I mean, what is going on? Where you get for all now? We yell. What you get for all? Is that Jude? Jude, welcome to the show. Abel, welcome to the show. Miata, Stella, Heron, welcome to the show. I met Miata in California. It was good meeting you, Miata. Very good personality. You're cool. Judges, watching us from Buchanan City, my man. The next time I hit a time, my man, I got to come to the city so I can start some real dumber. Yeah, I got to count of bezo. So I can swallow some domo, brother. Petro, welcome to the show. Smith Dawei, what is going on? Happy, that other the Eagle fan, Smith Dawei, nobody's stupid yet, man. Orita, Zena, welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. Joseph Kondo say I spoil the show, but man, I don't spoil the show. We gotta discuss everything like bro. Momodu, welcome to the show. Momodu say I'm please get to the point. Momodu, sorry, brother. If you're when you go finishing your data finishing, sorry, bro. We have customs here, we have tradition and things that we do here. So Smith, I would say Eagle Victory. You want your Fala Joseph. Welcome to the show, Fala Joseph. Fala Joseph is so what? Fala Joseph asking say, answer your own question, brother. Kamon Fofana, welcome to the show. Kamon Fofana say he's supporting the Philadelphia Eagle. Kamon Fofana, and that's more than your Eagle. And that's more than your Eagle. You supporting the Eagle. No beginning from Kansas. They're beginning strategic. I'll tell you that. No beginning very strategic. They might not be the best. They might not be the most mature side or experienced side, but don't sleep on them. No beginning and bad behind and posting your Gario. Is that Tushman A. Sharif? Welcome to the show. Say your ANC supporter will be the reasons why Cummings will never smell the Liberian presidency. Even in 2029, Cummings will still be struggling. Man, no problem. We'll spare your view here, bro. I did talk to you on now. Come poke can after you can go after coming people. Anyway, I won't put it, but we watching. Yeah, we were the concerned citizen and the stakeholder there. We can just read your comment there and we thought the ones who thought we walk away. So Zazu. SK Talk Show always help to destroy the CPP. Okay, no problem. I view that opinion, bro. We don't get a problem with that one. Sekou M. Sharif, good afternoon. Mama, good afternoon, brother. Good afternoon, Sekou. Theophilus, welcome to the show. You follow us from Michigan. Yeah, it's always good to let us know where you follow us from. It's a very good thing. Theophilus, thank you for following us from Michigan. Let us know at least where you follow us from if you can, please. Buema Paso, welcome to the show, Buema. Ephraim, welcome to the show. Let's see, what else? They Justino Beverly Pajibo yet. They Justino yet. Justino, what ain't going on? What ain't going on? They Justino yet let us. What ain't going on? Justino, where's your story? What ain't going on? Justino, where's your story? What ain't going on? Smith that way, my man. Diagonti, sister. And you know I meant to call you, but something came up. I'll call you, sister. Sorry, I'll call you. Sonny, welcome. You watching from New Jersey? Yeah, New Jersey. Sonny, Chilla Gibson. What ain't going on? No, the show will not be nothing. The show will be good. We just discussed the issue today. The show will be good. Sekou M. Sharif, welcome to the show. You're watching her from Greece. Thank you, Sekou. Orita, what's up? Yeah, we yell. And we don't want yell. We're the concerned citizen that yell. Well, those are the people that wrote on here. Those are the people I can see. Please write if you want to be recognized. We'll get to the musical break right here in a jiffy. we get to the what are going in a jiffy. We've been asking questions about our foundation. We'll bring an update to you now. We probably concerned citizens, then we can get we the one that discuss the issue. Amara, scientist Amara. Yeah, happy Armed Forces Day to you, my brother. Thank you to the Armed Forces Day. Thank you for the reminder, brother. Thank you so much. Armed Forces Day. Yeah, today I'm in Melona Day. Well, they show bad. No, the show will be noisy. The show will be hard. I already know that one. Y'all know the show umpire when we see the show starting the day. We know the show will be noisy, but we're not ready to. But to be honest, we are very grateful to be alive to be here today on SK TV. Please share the show. Many of you are not even sharing the show. That's the problem there. The problem with y'all. Yeah, y'all share the show. Oh, you know what? Before I forget, Joseph Conto reminded me. Let me put the Cash App up. We'll discuss. We've been asking the question that's needed to be asked. We'll discuss some of the responses we've gotten. Ahmed Mokane, welcome to the show. Yvonne, you're glad to see me today. I must say, I'm glad to see you today too. Sekou doing all right. Sekou will be joining us momentarily here, but let's share the show, please, guys. Let me put this Cash App up because I'll be getting problems from you guys about the Cash App business. Well, I don't put it up. So let me put our Cash App up really quick. We get to the musical break here. Yona Sebakura, in his dream maybe. Somebody said in his dream maybe. Well, Yona, I don't know who you're talking about, so I didn't follow the conversation. Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm supposed to investigate something, but I didn't even investigate a thing. Oh my goodness. Somebody just reminded me about something, man. Follow the show. I will follow the show. I will do my best to to look through it. while you were here at some point. It totally slipped my mind. I'm very sorry. I take full responsibility of that one. It did. It slipped my mind. I got carried away, sidetracked by a lot of different things. So that's why I couldn't keep up. Yeah, it slipped my mind. It slipped my mind. The person know that you know what, I'm talking to you. The person giving me a hard time here. You know I'm talking to you. Don't get fed with me. Oh, I forget our old age. Let me hold on. That old age now, getting there. To liberate country here, and it would just let it. That old age, I forgot. Sorry. Yeah, what day? I can't talk. We talk. They talking about with Dwayne. They talking here with Dwayne. With Dwayne, I will call you. Trust me, I will call you. Yeah. I will call you. This person, somebody, I owe somebody a call. I didn't call the person, and I'm just stacking up. Yo, sorry, we're working on changing the country here. That changing the country, I make it in a situation. But anyways, let's share the show, guys. Let's share the show. We'll get to other news here really quick. We'll soon be joined by the folks in Liberia. We'll start a conversation here this afternoon. But let's get to, I think we should get to the musical break and share the show. Then when we get back, hopefully we can, we can get going on that. But I think that would be perfect. That would be perfect if we do share the show. Okay, I think I'm seeing something here. Give me a second, guys. I think this is it. Give me a second. Okay, I got it. Let me put this on here. This is what I've been looking for, or this why. Sorry, guys. Sorry. One more thing here, and we should be good. We should be good after this. We should be good. Okay. Let me put this in here, and we should be clear. Yes. Okay, so you will see the Cash App number scrolling down there, right under my name. You'll see some kind of little writing going on your screen. The Cash App cell number. You can use that number. Please use that number. I think we should be good. Let's get to the musical break. Once we get back, we'll head on straight into our conversation here for this afternoon. There are a lot of different things happening, but we'll try to make the conversation here very I'll play this song today. We will no copyright to this song.
Lump. Find a friend like me. If you not want betrayal, find a friend like me. Find a friend like me. Find a friend like me. If you not want betrayal, find a friend like me. Bombe oh, find a friend like me. Bombe jene oh, find a friend like me. Bombe, find a friend like me. A friend like me. Hey, see bestie. Your bestie not sweet like my bestie. Your bestie da la bestie. Find a friend like me. I say, see bestie. Bestie wanting to wealthy. Find a friend like me. I hear them say they want me go, they want want me go, I say Some of them say they want me go. They want me go, I say Some French la oh ah oh ah oh. Some French la oh ah oh ah oh. Some French la oh ah oh ah oh. French la oh ah oh. Hey, bestie, the bestie na sweet like my bestie. The bestie la bestie, so I friend.
I say, see bestie wanting to heavy, find a friend let me. Okoro, 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 okoro. They won't step on my blessing, but God get it breaking, yeah. Okoro, they won't call it my blessing, but God get it breaking, yeah. Okoro.
French, see French, can't see Papa T French, and I want no back for French. And I want now when you are French. Wangolo, 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 wango for bestie, wango for daddy, wangolo.
I hear them say they want me go, I say I hear them say they want me go, I say
Some French la oh ah oh ah oh ah oh. Some French la oh ah oh ah oh ah oh. Some French la oh ah oh ah oh ah oh. French la oh ah oh ah oh ah oh. Hey, bestie, the bestie na friend by my bestie. The bestie la bestie, so I friend.
I say, see bestie wanting to heavy, want him alone, find a friend let me.
I'm gonna be dancing in the bag again. That small dancing I was doing. Nobody's stupid yet. Dance in the back. Really quick. We will. Mark Tabate will join us just for a few minutes to update us on some of the things. But let's quickly in other news. On the 9th, which was Thursday. On Thursday, Stanton was doing court. He went to court. As a matter of fact, he went to court, and apparently he was released on bail. Tomorrow we'll talk about the Stanton issues in more details because by then we'll have Councilor Jerome Verda, who will be our guest tomorrow. He'll be on here. At some point during the show, we'll also have a Representative Yeke Koluba joining us tomorrow to talk about some of the issues going on in the country. So tomorrow we have a full house just before the Super Bowl. We have a full house, but we want to, we are seeing lots of Liberians, lots of people around the world, some of, I'll say Stanton supporters, and who are saying, good news, thank God, and finally he will walk free. Let me tell you something. Just before tomorrow, we'll talk about the indictment, talk about other things and other details. We're going details tomorrow. I don't want to go into details. I just want to bring you other news to let you know that we've not let the Stanton story down. We're not the people that pick and choose what kind of conversations to have. No, we don't pick and choose. We're not. Especially when it comes to unfolding issues from the political arena, people in politics. If that your personal life, that your business. But if that's not your personal life, that you and your wife, you and your husband, your boyfriend, your relationship, that one are your business, your care on us, we don't do the gossip thing and we don't do drama. But we discuss the issues here. So I want you to maybe look at R. Kelly, look at Bill Cosby and other people who got released on bail. Let me tell you something. If you don't understand something, it does not mean that that thing does not exist. Stanton is in some serious trouble, some serious problems that are not just going to go away. And in fact, like I said, I don't want to jump ahead of myself. Tomorrow we'll talk about it in details. We have lots of questions to the legal minds. To the legal mind that will be on here, we have lots of conversation. A lot of things to talk about. But Stanton is not off the hook. Those of you who are hoping and thinking, it's not off the hook. This is serious. It's very serious. Serious than you think. Serious than you think. It's not a petty crime. It's not a state crime only. It's a national crime in the United States. And please, it's not. I'm not going to use the word lurched. The documentations are clear out. They spell it out that crimes were committed. So if you want to use that lurch, go ahead. If anybody wants to sue me, I'll refer to the documents that I have. So we'll move forward from that. I don't want to spend time on that because tomorrow we'll go into in details and talk about it. But you can jump around, celebrate temporarily, make yourself feel good and feel fun temporarily. But he's not off the woodworks as of yet. And if you want to say, oh, you let a wish bad for people, you let bad news, that's your business. It's not important to me. That's not important. I don't wish bad news for anyone. I don't want bad to happen to anyone. However, in life, there are consequences for choices people make. So, and we Liberians, this is what we need to do. We want people to be held accountable, right? Okay, Natana Magil got sanctioned, opposition people happy. Good. When our CDC or people that you don't like, then you're happy. When they want to hold your friends, your close associates, or people who are connected with them accountable, then you take it personal. That's your business. It doesn't matter to me. Nope. It don't make a difference to me. It doesn't. I don't censor your view. You don't censor my view. We're happy. As long as it's public matter, the only place I censor your view is on my personal page. And so I want to say thank you to lots of you that have been following the instructions on my page. To a lot of the viewers, a lot of my friends. When you come there, most of you are learning now. You can stick to the topic at hand. You're following instruction. That's pretty good. That's very good. I hope we can have a society where everybody will be able to follow simple instructions. The highest start. When we start doing the kind of simple thing, then we'll get to Labrador and they say, don't run a red light. You're not running a red light. The highest starts. We must retrain the brain. That being said, if you say you're not following instruction, you come on my page, now I'll block you. So every day I will remind you, I'll bring you up to speed and so forth. That's in other news. In other news, we have been following with the Unity Party. We have been following the Unity Party and Joseph Yuma Boaka's visit to the U.S. Initially, we were told that former Vice President Joseph Yuma Boaka was coming to the U.S. for fundraiser. At some point, he got sick. I listened to his most recent interview on VOA. I don't think much was say about fundraiser. Rather, it was medical checkup. So either ways, they can fool around with themselves, or they want to fool around with, and not be factual. Because 1 minute they come and raise funds, another minute they're coming for medical issues. I don't understand. I don't understand why the inconsistency, why the lies, why the top secrets for no reason, no apparent reason. Listen, there should be nothing here to hide. There's nothing here to hide. If you're coming for a medical checkup, you are coming for medical checkup. If you're coming for fundraiser, you are coming for fundraiser. If you're coming for both, be clear and say these are the things I'm coming to do. Stop the little, because you'll raise too much speculations and confusion when you start to, like you're hiding something. So far, we've realized that the VP came and they decided to take a chance. I call it take a chance to do a fundraiser. We're still, hopefully by tomorrow, we gave you the detail as to if that 501c3 document or that foundation is still alive. The last time we had a report for it, it was squashed. In other words, they took away the legality and legitimacy of that particular foundation. We have the documentations in our possession. So we're confused when we saw that they were raising fund for the same foundation. It could be possible that they reinstated the foundation, but we're checking up on it. We want to speak to the facts here. But just to keep you informed, we've been jokingly asking for how much was collected. And some of you think this is a joke. Let me say this. America is not Liberia. America is not Liberia. You don't come here and fool around. You don't take money for foundation and you use it for political reasons. I know many of you from the Unity Party are watching from far off. You will not click, you will not write. That's fine. That is your right. Many of you support Joseph Human Park, follow the show daily or whatever. That's good. This is a Liberian show. All of us, you're welcome to follow. But let me say this to you guys. Don't fool around. Don't fool around here. Don't do that. You could face some serious problems. I'm saying it again. You don't want somebody calling the IRS on that particular foundation to look into that foundation. So you'll do what is right and start the fooling around. This idea that you can pass around and play games, it can happen here. It will not happen here. In Labrador, because you get connection there and you all know each other, you all can play tricks and games, you can do that there. Here, you'll be to the books. You'll stick with the issues. Don't play funny games here. And I say Costa shouldn't announce this. And I say no problem with that. Because apparently Costa is the spokesman for the Unity Party, the spokesman for the campaign, the spokesman for the foundation. That's your business. You can make him whatever title you want to give him. That's your right. You reserve the right to do that. No one. That's not important. Here is the most important thing. Don't fool around with American people taxpayer dollars. Don't. And don't fool around with it. You will get in trouble. And if Joseph Yuma Bwaga owns the foundation, his name is on it and all of that, he could get in trouble as well. You don't want that. You don't want that noise. Or you don't want that other noise. You do what is right, let the people know what's up. You ask for public money. And now you're Costa session and collecting money for Costa scamming and joking, fooling around thing that he does with you guys. And the legitimate legal conversations we are having here. We are saying it. Your thing, this is, oh, you hate the party. Oh, you are against the Unity Party. Smashing better than bitching. You'll be clear on this particular money. Because if you think some are going to not follow up on it, you're wasting your time. Let me just give you the facts. We're not going to fool around. In the United States, we're not breed criminals and crooks. It's not going to happen. It's not. It's not. It will just be clear on that one. It's not. We will follow that particular foundation, follow the money that was collected, what will be done with it, and so forth. It's not going to happen here. It's not going to happen here. Let me just let you know that we're in America. We're in a country where you can file the proper documentations and get the proper paperwork. So if you think you're going to fly on the radar and go share the money and go buy liquor and chill and buy Louis Vuitton and do all kind of stupid teenager thing that we're going to do, you will sit there and see how to do that foolishness in this country. Anyways, I won't go ahead of myself. I don't want to go ahead of myself, but you take the particular one for a joke. You take it for a joke. I saw one of the big men on my post. Right here. And we're joking together, we're laughing. We're still laughing. We're laughing. The serious part coming. The serious part will come. The serious part will come. And we're laughing with it. Okay, we're laughing. That's one side of the conversation. That's one side of the conversation. I want to also speak to another thing that I saw that was very interesting. Check. Very interesting. These boys will not stop. Very interesting. First of all, let me clear something out. I'm not against anybody making a case. In fact, I'm a huge proponent, advocate, fan of justice and accountability. I am. I am. As evidenced by that, that's one of the problems. That's one of the concerns. That's one of the issues that the President George Weah-led government is faced with. Their inability to, follow up, prosecute, go after, investigate, do the right thing to protect the rights of humanity. I do, to be quite honest. I support anything that will bring justice and accountability. I do. Any reasonable means. I'm not saying to go take somebody's life to hurt other people. That's not what I'm saying. I like justice. I like accountability. But when it seems to be mixed with politics and people want to play games with it, then I have a little reservation. And as evidenced by that, that's why the War and Economic Crime Court's conversation hasn't gone anywhere. Because people have played politics with it and they've played games with it. When some of us who are victims of the war, directly and indirectly, and up until today, we still are victims of the war, as evidenced by people calling us Decembrists. And you think that's a joke? It's not a joke. Because we didn't move ourselves from Liberia. Some of them didn't even know about it. We're not there. We're victims of the war. We've missed out on a lot of things. Culture, family, loved ones, family members. We can be there to celebrate and see some things that we want to see. And when people come and say we will bring the one economic crimes court, and we give them power, they come, then we are Liberian, we are interconnected, and when you do this thing, everybody's related, then it started to look funny. I say this to say the recent appearances of Sheikh and speaking out, it's concerning. The timing don't make any sense. The way he's going about it does not make sense. I'm not saying he might not be a victim. Again, please don't get me wrong. I'm not saying he might not be a victim. There are a lot of questions that are unanswered. And some of them I will leave them with you because this is just in other news and a teaser because we've got other things to talk about before we get into the conversation for the day. Let me give you something that's very concerning. One of the first questions you must start asking yourself is, why all of this time? Why did he keep quiet? Why does he want to talk now? Why is now the best time to talk? If he has evidences as he claims, he's in the United States of America. He's not in Liberia to say you can send it. He can walk to any FBI office or make an appointment and submit his evidences to them. What is his end goal? What is he trying to achieve? What's going on? Let me tell you something. For those of you who pass around 24/7 and pass around, raise up your blood pressures because you want to be in sensational news. You want to be temporarily excited. When you pass and say breaking news and the government is alleged that they kill the other person, they pay the other person, they kill the other person, then you go and sit and you worry whole day. We're not on our same laws. We're not. You're looking for different places. All the information you've been getting about George Weah from 2018 up until today, you have done nothing about it. Who told you when people get you information, you should sit on it? When you get information, it's supposed to empower you to do something about what you've gotten the information. But if you just get information, pile up on the one, get the information, pile up on that one, get out of Why are you wasting your time passing around? You're just passing around confusing yourselves. And many of you now have turned this whole thing where we should hold the government accountable. It should be about the liberation of our people to see clearly how we can move forward. You have turned the thing now to be a hate against President George Weah and CDC to the point that you just want to replace him. You don't care about who replaces him, but he might just go. We're now on the same team. We're now on the same line. No, we're not. Your personal vendetta that you got going on, because your god partner no longer there, your god man no longer there, your boyfriend, your husband, your family member there, no longer in government, and they can no longer get a cut, or they took someone from on a payroll while they were in America. So y'all won't rush this thing to just replace Joria. No, we're not on that same line. No, we're not. We're not. And we cannot do this, because after we do this, we'll be right back here in less than 6 months with the same noise. Mind you, when George Weah took over, it took less than 6 months for us to come out with the same noise, because we did not do what was right and expedient to ensure that we have the proper document or the proper people to come there to hold the alien-led government accountable. All we were rushing for in 2017 was to replace the alien-led government. So we cared less to scrutinize President George Weah at the time when they lied to us that he had 80 million. But today we still revert to the same Sheikh story though, because Sheikh is telling us that he didn't have 80 million at the time. Let me tell you something. There are some things in life that you must do. You can't escape them. You will have to face them. If you will go to the next step, there are some steps in life that you must, some processes you must face, some people that you must face. This is our problem. We want everything in a microwave way. It might be rushy. Let's get rid of the one, and the other one will come and fix this one, and the other person will come and fix this one. No. Why is Sheikh speaking now? Why now? After all these years. Here's another question I want you to ask Sheikh. Here's something I want you to ask Sheikh. If he claims he knows who killed, and he has all the evidences as to who killed this and who killed the other person, whatever it is, when he had the evidences before they could even kill them, why didn't he alert the family? When the investigation was going on, why did he come out and provide a contrary against the government? Why? Why didn't he do that? Let me say this to you. I'm not sure what kind of little games you guys are on. I'm not sure where you want this country to go. I'm not sure what you really want to do. Tomorrow we dance with Friday, the cell phone man. I'm very sorry that somebody's trying to. I'm not sure if they're trying to hack the show or have internet problems. I don't. I don't think it's internet problems. I think it's more of a attempting to hack or whatever it is. Um, but we're getting there. But let's get back to the conversation. Let's get back to the conversation. So, like I was saying earlier, it's it's important for us to understand that. It's very important for us to understand that. Yeah, some people want dance. Oh, Dan, no problem. Friday, party, man. The man know how to pour in situation we can handle. Tomorrow we'll play that song for you. Don't worry. But let's get back to the conversation because we will be joined by the guys from Liberia in any moment from now, so we can get to this talking point here today. So fast forward, Shaq appears out of a sudden and starts to talk now. What is his end goal? You got all the evidences that you claim. Then what next? What next? So these are all questions and concerns that we must lay out for our people. Again, please don't get me wrong. I'm not saying you couldn't be a victim. But even when you listen to the Sheikh guy, you will come to understand that amidst everything that has happened, even with President George Weah, quote unquote, wanting his life, they still owe allegiance and pledges to him, though. I don't understand. How worse can this get? Somebody won't take your life, but you still respect that person. You still cool with that person. You still refer to them as big brother, and they want, and I want, and I want. Somebody, the most important thing, somebody won't take it from you. I say they won't take your children. They won't take your wife. They won't take something from you. I say they won't take your life, but you still owe allegiance to that person. I mean, what are we in? Let me say this to you. Let me just let you know, and it will probably come out. This is a distraction. Let me say it again. This is well connected. This is a plan. This is a strategy, and the guys are implementing this strategy. Don't fall for the foolishness. These boys are not serious. I'm saying it again. These boys are not serious. The Sheikh, the Joia, the Costa, they're all not serious. They're not serious people. They're not serious people. They're not serious people. I want to encourage Sheikh to go to the United States government and report with the evidences he has. Sheikh can read and write. Let him write in the international community. The headquarters of UN right in New York, he can go there. Or he can mail it to them. All the evidences he has, let him present it to the public. Like human rights violation, the United States can go after those people who did that. Or they can hold the Liberian government accountable. Let's start wasting our time with the stupid distraction that was stupid here. We will fall for the kind of stupid thing. The only people that will fall for the kind of nonsense, that is unstable, temporary, emotional people that we have. They're not serious. Padam Kula, welcome to the show. You are late. I don't speak to things I don't have facts on. I don't have no facts on Jose Yuma Braga's foundation being restored or reinstituted or reinstated. No, I don't. If you have the facts, you're welcome to share with me, or you can share with the public. It doesn't mean that when I have the facts, like I said, tomorrow or sometimes this week, we're following up and we'll do due diligence to our. Until then, I'm still aware. Until the contrary is proven, I can't speak to that fact. Thank you, Baton. That would be great. Thank you so much. I would appreciate that. But anyways, like I said, these are all distractions. These are all distractions. You must pay attention to these guys. We're in election years. We're in an election year. I mean, pay attention. Well, I think we're joined by the guys from Liberia here, so we get quickly. You know, one of these days, I'd like to invite one of my brother, one of my friend, you know, I know we had an interaction. I would just like to invite him to talk about the economy, That's where he's one of his strongest points. But I also like his articulation. So I like to invite my friend, my colleague Wule. We had an interaction on Focus on Liberia. I've come to respect him. We met in Arizona, I think a couple of months, sometimes last year. We had a very good conversation. I even though his support for the CDC, but he's somebody that, please don't get this wrong. Please support who you want to support. Just be level-headed with the facts. That's it. And after our conversation, I realized that even though he supported the CDC, I don't know his stance as of today, but he's very level-headed and objective. That I respect. Support President Weah, support Joseph Yuma Boaka, support Alexander Cummings, support Tiawan Gonglo, support whoever you want to support. Just be objective and be fair about the issues. Even when your candidate is criticized, look into it and say, maybe these guys are asking this question or they're criticizing because of this reason. And it will help us. But let's get to the conversation here. Let me get Milborn cooler. But man, what is going on? My man, you support it. You support the way I look at you.
Yeah, sometimes we gotta support the team that is struggling, and in fact, we gotta support the party that is struggling.
So you support?
Yes, one way or the other, we are I support. Same, I don't know, is that Richard Tobot? Yeah, I think Sam Richard Tobot.
My man, so wait. So that you, President Jowia,
yes,
because I know I even heard say one of our brother that can follow on Focus on SKTV. Yeah, I even heard that he's a supporter too, and I heard Sekou that he's a supporter too.
Oh, you mean Sekou Kone also part of AI?
Brother, the men are AI supporter. What is?
But then but then that's something I never said. So that means we're going, but the way we're going, for me, I'm not understanding the way we're going. So whether we're going somewhere, whether we're going somewhere or we're just going because we're going, then that's another problem, bro. But what's up, man? What's going on?
My man, we are here discussing opposition. We have two conversations here. One is research, or we want to search for the CDC where they are at this point, as we head towards the elections. But we also want to look at the possibility of the conversation here with the opposition unity. We talk about the unity and in what context, because it's important for us to attach context. Yes, Macaulay, I will be reaching out to you, my man. I will be reaching out to you. It would be a great time to have you, and maybe Brazilian Monk and maybe Baton Kula. Let's get Baton Kula on here some days too as well to hear from them. These are people who can be very objective in their stands. I've listened to all of them, and, in their positions or whatever it is, regardless of who they support or their projections as to national issues. But just before you came here, I was bringing people up to speed with other news. The Sheikh most recently, who's making around, accusing the government and so forth. I was saying that this is all a game and a distraction. Something is up. This is a distraction. This is not a normal behavior. It doesn't make sense. It would make sense to people who are emotionally maybe not stable to some extent, that just want to everything about, Joey, I didn't care that person. Joey, I didn't care that person. They just pass around from one place to another, get sensational news, get themselves excited temporarily, and they do nothing. So my questions I've been asking, why is it he's appearing now? All of these years he knew all of these things. Why he never said anything to the Labrampo if he so loved the Labrampo in the country? Why was he quiet, silent all this time? All of a sudden he wants to come up. What is the end goal? What is the end game? If he has any proof, any evidences as he's claimed, why doesn't he make it available to the authority in the United States and other people? Why not? Why run, why run around and all of, all these different things? But that's other news. That's in other news. In other news, I was very disturbed to see that I'm not sure who authorized the authority to, that I'm picking that I want to picking, to drag the young man from the seat of the government, at the legislature, to drag him only because he was taking out a billboard. They could have used other means. That you don't do these things. That's inhumane. Inhumane. I mean, that's not the right thing to do as a government or as a people or people in authority. You don't do that. That's not the right thing to do. That's total violation. You don't treat people like that. That's not what you do as a people. I'm not sure who authorized them. I'm not going to be here and say that the speaker or that the other person authorized them. I'm definitely going to, definitely going to say here, I don't know who authorized them to do that, but where they got the orders from, but that was wrong. But I want to get into the conversation of the opposition unity, because at the end of the day, that's what we're here today. Then tomorrow, please, to our listeners and our viewers, we have Councillor Jerome Verdia on and Yeke Koluba. Councillor Jerome Verdia will be talking more about the legal consequences about some of the things. Also, we'll be talking in depth about Stanton's most recent case and the court appearance on Thursday, what that really means, where he's headed, and so forth. So all of these things will be taken into consideration tomorrow. We'll talk about Yeke's recent move, with the banners and all that and so forth. We'll talk about some of them, put some of the things in perspective as we're heading towards the end of the election, towards elections here. But just before we get to the opposition unity, because that's what's been trending on Facebook most recently, I'm confused as to where's the CDC. I'm very confused. Last week, they quote unquote showed strength in number when they took people to ATS, which I thought was deceiving. And for me, that is the beginning of the problem. Because first of all, if they said they were going there with the president, that's concerning. And the coalition, what's going on, nominate the president, it should have been the coalition. They should have told the people. Now, if it wasn't the coalition, if it was just the CDC, the Democratic change, or however you want to call them, then they should have told the people as well. They were very misleading, very deceptive. That's very concerning. But we are also seeing, the ongoing fight between Prince Johnson and the president, which we talked about on Sunday. It seemed more like it was a joke, but it wasn't a joke to me, because it's escalated to the extent that we have former General Zogia is speaking now. This is troubling. What do you say, Melbourne, and what's happening? Because we're seeing the resurfacing of these things from a psychological standpoint. Just hearing some of these people's voices on the radio or seeing them on TV or so forth can trigger trauma. It can cause problems for some people. It can be very scary, very disturbing. What say you? What's going on?
All right. So, Steve, let me say good evening to you and our cherished listeners and our viewers there in the diaspora. It's Father Town Check here in Liberia. It's 17 minutes past 7 o'clock, and today is Saturday, having to be the 11th day in the month of February, and today is Armed Forces Day right here in Liberia. We are celebrating the holiday here in Liberia. So, back to your topic. In fact, you should I say you put two high topics together, because if you talk about the opposition and that of the ruling position, then we don't really have that luxury of time for that, because opposition by itself also is a heavy discussion by itself. Then coming down to the ruling party also, that's something that have to take a luxury of time to be discussed. But anyway, how be it, that our discussion for today. So in politics, there'll be a lot of things happening. There'll be a lot of crossover. There'll be a lot of deceptions. There'll be a lot of people moving from another political party to another political party. Like you said, we check what happening that now is coming out to speak. That also reminds me of the president talking on in the church, that there are people that also thinking or maybe wanting money from him or maybe from his government. So it's like maybe when he not give the money, then they come out to always speak that one that have a thing. But whether it's true or not, then because why will you be part of something, be it good or not, and you are not speaking? If it is bad, you don't talk. until when you come out, then that's the time that you want to talk. Then we're going to listen to you. So then that speak that for example, if I work here and things going on here bad, I don't speak. I don't talk about it until when I leave. Then that's the time I want to talk. Then I see that as I think, then that means I'm not happy. It is better that I go back to the management and tell the management that what are you doing? Or this thing is not working the way it's supposed to work. So because of this, in fact, they're going to respect me a lot for that. Even if I leave tomorrow, they say, yes, maybe when you were here, he used to talk about this, he used to talk about that. But to just leave that, and when you go out, you start talking and see that as total deception, and maybe so many political or maybe so many politicians, they are like politically or maybe driving. They want something from maybe from the government or not. So back to opposition that you said, yes, there are a lot of news here in Liberia. There are a lot of rumors that the former vice president, Honorable Joseph Yima Boakai, and that Alexander Cummings, may likely come together as team to run against the ruling party. But whether it's going to be possible or not, that's the $1 million question. Because if you look at the post coming from the chair of the CPP, Honorable Musa Hassan Bedete, that you all talk about this, but we fought hard to make this party to work. We fought hard in the 2019 election. We brought in a lot of senators in the House. Today, you honor all our effort today. We are nowhere. Now you're not fighting hard now to see us coming back together. How that going to work? How that going to be? So the wounds, people are still wounded. The people are still heartbroken. Even like, for example, you and I, Steve, we have our misunderstanding maybe 1 month ago, and in less than 1 week time, you want us to have that reconciliation, and you want to be, or maybe you want to control me. I think that will not work. So for me, what I'm seeing right now is that the opposition, they got to be careful, because when they are not careful, even when they come together, they're not going to yield any fruit. Let me be frank. Because if you come together with that kind of divided mind, if you come together with that kind of a divided heart, where you see people are say hating each other, even on the social media, then that speaks that they are not still united. And the time frame is short. The time frame is short for unity. I mean, don't even lie to you, my brother. So even when they come together today and agree that, yes, we want to go as one people, granted, but the time is short. So we'll be seeing a lot of undermining, we'll be seeing a lot of deceptions, we'll still seeing people taking news from their camp, giving it to the government. Okay. And that was going to be, yes. And that was going to be happening.
So I didn't want to start with the opposition unity first, but since you decided to start on that, let's focus on that a little bit, and then we'll come to the CDC at the very end here. But let me piggyback on some of the things you've just said concerning opposition unity. First of all, let me just say this to our listeners and our viewers, those of you following us from Liberia, that unity is very important. As a matter of fact, I like unity. I endorse unity. I promote unity. And I think unity can do a lot. Can take you far. Let me put it that way in the Liberian language, or the Liberian way of saying it, can carry you far off. Mm-hmm. Even in the Bible, for someone who are Christians, when you read the Bible very carefully, mm-hmm. especially in Genesis, the beginning first few scriptures, mm-hmm. you would see that unity took people very, very far. The issue of unity. So when you read about the Tower of Babel, I think Genesis 9:10, they were talking about people building the Tower of Babel. They spoke one language, they were united, and God said so, and said, if we don't do this, these guys will, they will achieve whatever goal they want to achieve. So unity is very good. But unity in what context? To what extent? And what is the goal of the unity? Now let's go back, because this is important. We must go back in history and find out as to whether these are just different people coming from different places for the very mm-hmm. first time to just form a unity. Mm. And this is where some people don't want to have this conversation. No, these are not different people. Some of us from the get-go of the formation of the CPP, we told the ANC we told Alexander Cummings not to join the CPP. It was never a good idea. Some of us are on record of saying that it was never a good idea because he would have to defend the Unity Party. He would have had to do that. And the people of Liberia did not want a Unity Party after 2017, regardless of George Weah's failure, ineptitude, incompetence. The Liberian people did not. As evidenced by that, they spoke overwhelmingly. Joseph Human Boakai, who ran under the Unity Party ticket, won only one county out of 15. That's as loud as the Liberian people could have gotten. So that means if Joseph Human Boakai wanted to separate himself, he should have left the Unity Party. Anything that was associated with the Unity Party at the time and at this current moment, based on our history in Liberia, that we have never re-elected a party that left power. It has never been there. These are facts. This is not my fact. We said because of some of these reasons, ANC go by yourself. Build your own relationships and momentum. The ANC people say no, they will not do it. They might go into collaboration and they might go join. Fast forward, they went and joined a collaboration. When they joined the collaboration, soon as they joined the collaboration started with Yo-Yo. Because Joseph Boakai brought Bernard Ure to the collaboration. Bernard Ure started to attack Alexander Cummings. Joseph Boakai sat there while Bernard Ure attacked Alexander Cummings for no reason and said nothing, as always. Fast forward, this CPP that should have been the hope to replace President George Weah at the time when they were all together. Not only that, there was information started leaking from there. The serious noise and tension in the CPP. Every day that someone has small noise. Every day that someone has yo-yo. Every day that someone has yo-yo. We move fast forward. The Unity Party and Joseph Boakai decided to leave the CPP. But they decided to jump the same Bernard Ure that they brought in the CPP to take Alexander Cummings to court. And Joseph Human Boakai is on record parading. We told them that time, don't do this. Joseph Human Boakai would have never been dragged from a house. He went paraded with Sereno Cephas. He and Sereno Cephas were passing around. His current mouthpiece, Henry Costa, the current face of the United Party, told the Liberian people and the world at large that they joined with the government to prosecute Alexander Cummings and the ANC. Let me tell you something. For many of you who don't understand some things, politics are not deception. Let me tell you the truth. You don't have to be deceptive to be a successful politician. You don't. You don't have to throw people under the bus or hurt people. You don't. You don't have to do that. You never have to do that. It's okay for you to disagree with people. But it's not okay for you to connive. And the thing that surprises me when we say some of the things, then people say, oh, you Cummings, man, you're supposed Cummings, they won't. If Cummings was your father, if Cummings was your uncle or your relative, would you have sat there? Many of you who are writing today for them to unite, many of you sat here quietly while these guys put these lies together from one lie to another.
Wait.
Maybe wait. I want to make the case. I want to have this conversation because we're quick to forget, we Liberian people. Most of us are quick to forget. The same problem that we are facing today with Georgia is because we go with this, oh, let's just forget it, let's just move on, let's just forget. Let me tell you something. You know what the Bible says? The Bible says the issue of forgiveness, that choices. The Bible says if you confess your sin. So if you want forgiveness, then you have to confess. If you want forgiveness, let me tell you today. Joseph Boakai, Bernard Ure, and Yomli Kanga Lawrence, all three of them, they knowingly connived and lied. We said that thing before. Today, here we are. Y'all had a good thing going on, even though some of us said from day one. Darius Delon benefited from this CPP. Other people benefited from this CPP. Prince Moyi benefited from this CPP. When the whole noise was going on, then one day we heard Darius Delon. When we heard Darius Delon speaking, Darius Delon said, Darius Delon is part of the conspirator. He lied as well. All of them lie. But you want people to sweep it on the rug. And you might come together in the name of you want to remove Jowia. That's my question to you. When you remove Jowia, you don't have any more common enemy. Who you will turn on next? Because anytime you form any relationship based on your tag teaming to attack somebody, once that common enemy is eradicated or is taken away, what's next? What is the next agenda? Y'all want to remove Jowia. What is your goal for the Liberian people?
So then, Steve, I want to ask you
Asking you.
I know they are listening, but I want to ask you this question also because on the watch. Yeah.
What is your goal for the Liberian people? What are your plan for the Liberian people? If this plan, the unity that you want to have, is to just remove George Weah, my people, you don't waste your time behind these people. If they decide to come together, you're looking to other options. You don't waste your time behind them. Because as soon as they remove George Weah, after 2-3 months, you will come back to another yo-yo again. Yes, you will. Because the focus is they have one enemy. And George Weah and one enemy, George Weah and Liberian too. Yes, we can hold George Weah accountable. But it cannot be, the focus cannot be about removing George Weah. The focus cannot be about removing George Weah. Let's provide options to the Liberian people. Let's provide alternatives. Give me a second. I think Melbourne is let me bring Melbourne back. Melbourne, your internet is saying that you're not connected. Hold on, Melbourne.
Oh wow, I see why I was talking.
Sorry guys. Let's get back here really quick to the show. Let me see.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think we're still on, but Melbourne, you might want to go off and come back on, please.
Yes. Thank you.
Because you are not okay. You are back now. Yeah, because it was yeah, you're good now. But let me end my point, Melbourne, because we want to lay the case here for the Liberian people to listen. Melbourne, it's okay for to have misunderstanding. In any relationship, whether professional, romantic, or so forth. And interestingly, there's a book that I posted on Facebook, The 5 Dysfunction of a Group. I posted on Facebook a few weeks ago, sometime the beginning of this year. And that book, going through it with other leaders, that includes the executive director, me as one of the director, other managers and directors. The 5 Dysfunction of a team. And this is the book we are reading. And in this book, the first dysfunction, the first problem anything can have is the lack of trust. That's the first one. As it stands, even if the CPP were to come back, like you said, if Joseph Yuma Boakai were to come back, there are a couple of questions that needs to be asked. Who's going as vice president? What is the requirement? Will Joseph Yuma Boakai be coronated automatically as vice president? On what basis? For what? Joseph Yuma Boakai don't have no right to lead the CPP. come back and decide again that he will come back to the same CPP and say he should be the leader for the CPP. That's not how it works. Liberia does not rotate around Joseph Yuma Boakai. The survival of Liberia is not dependent on Joseph Yuma Boakai. And the sooner we start to understand that as Liberians, the better it would be for us. Joseph Yuma Boakai can make noise. They left the CPP, went to the Supreme Court to remove himself from the CPP, said and called back for opposition unity. Then he comes back and they coronate him as the person for everybody to come around. For what? Who died and made him boss? Why does he have equal right to be the standard bearer for the CPP and other people don't? The same competition he ran away from, he comes back, he will meet the same competition. Is he willing to go through that process? You see, we are looking at a deeper problem that is ahead, and we are speaking on it. People will say, you're not want opposition unity. Opposition must never unite. I will say it again. Opposition must never unite to remove Jawia. We have a problem if that is the case. Opposition must unite to address the plight of the people. Jawia is doing everything every day to remove himself. Every day, Jawia is doing everything to remove himself. Removing Jawia is not that easy thing. They're not hard thing. But the opposition, Joseph Yuma Boakai left. You forgot he went to the Supreme Court. And they celebrated that Friday when the Supreme Court ruled that they could leave. And they said they were going to build a bigger and better coalition. That's not what they said to us. Y'all be careful. We are saying these things. Some people will say we hate. It can never be centered around removing Jawia. If that is the case, then we are on a deceptive role and it will be problematic again for Cummins and the ANC, because right after Jawia is removed, rest assured, there is no formal enemy. If the opposition will unite so that when they get to second round, then they can decide who to support, that's a different thing. If the opposition decide to unite and Joseph Yuma Boakai can no longer come back to the CPP, does that mean that Alexander Cummins is going to run on a United Party banner and the Liberian people have refused United Party? What are we talking about? Is Alexander Cummins willing to defend the squandering that the United Party did to the Liberian people? You think the Liberian people not forget? When we say this thing, y'all say we hate people, we hate that one, we hate that one. Common sense that your best friend. Y'all apply common sense here. If y'all want change, y'all want change. Y'all don't want change, then y'all go ahead and y'all do your change thing that you're looking for. We must be serious. If it's never happened in the history before, it can happen in the history of Liberia. That people can go their separate ways, make the cases. Whoever gets to the second round, you decide if y'all will unite at that point. But the issue that you must unite to remove Jawia, a problem. Jawia is not our issue. Because even if you remove Jawia, what's next? What is your plan to address the plight of the Liberian people? What is your plan? If Joseph Yuma Boakai is not coming back to the CPP because he went to the Supreme Court, think about it. So does that mean that you're forming a new coalition? That means y'all got to dissolve the CPP? Y'all got to go back into a new agreement? How long do we have? What's going to be the... Why y'all giving yourself hard time? You're going in cycles in the name of removing Jawia. Why? Why you're not asking all these critical questions? But you're just going, let the point come back and come and go as vice president and Joseph Yuma Boakai and go as president, whatever it is. For what? Joseph Yuma Boakai is entitled to the presidency. Other people are entitled to it as well. One person, man or partner, born and to say the person here, they only born to be president. The other people might just go with it. For what? For what? For what? If Alexander Cummins and ANC surround us, I can tell you that they are desperate. And in the desperation, they will be making the biggest mistake of their lives. This issue of opposition unity, it must be scrutinized. On what level? Are they going to dissolve the CPP? Are they going to dissolve Unity Party? Because from all indications, Joseph Yuma Boakai is not leaving Unity Party. So that means all the other work that people have invested from whether that the ANC or the Liberty Party, today they see CPP Benin, the Liberty Party, to some extent has issues. How is that going to work out? Benin and UA. Will Benin and UA be okay with that? All the things that Yombi Kanga has done, where does it go? Young Ganga has been parading to be vice president. No, let me tell you something. Y'all can say anything y'all want to say about some of us, but we love Liberia enough to not want to go in cycles and in quagmire. This issue of they must just unite is problematic. It's problematic. We must think about it. The biggest picture here is not to remove Jowia. Let's not make it to that. That's not a problem. This bigger picture back in 2017 was Labrampo were tired of the Unity Party. So they wanted to remove the Unity Party at all costs. Guess what? Because of that, people lie about the achievement of Jowia. Jowia became president today. Where are we? Where are we? We got options. We got former Vice President's son, Moba, that's in the race. We got Tiawan Gonglo. Y'all go carry your CPP or whatever unity y'all want to go. Y'all carry somewhere else without your noise. Y'all be killing each other, then y'all be fighting each other. The Labrampo will look other ways. You think you didn't even know what you're setting yourself up for.
Yeah, yeah. So Steve, even to just add to what you just said, you know, the CPP, in fact, Honorable Joseph Yima Waka were in charge of the CPP when the CPP dragged the ANC political leader to court. So I don't even know how they're going to reconcile all of these things, you know. And if you can still recall, 2018, 2019, there was this news that President Weah and that of the vice president Joao Watila, they were not speaking. So if you're taking someone to court, and in fact, or maybe someone took you to court, and you even justify or you even talk against that person, now you want to come back for you and that person to reconcile and go as one team. For me, I see that to admit, I'm not very sure no, because that's going to happen. The same way that Liberia complained that, oh yeah, President Weah and that of the vice president Joao Watila, they were not speaking certain time until that news come up in the media, and after certain time we see them, you know, coming close together, you know, shaking hands and so on. So this thing, we don't want the kind of thing to be repeating or, you know, over and over. Now back to what you just said. The CPP was very strong in the hand of the ANC political leader, Alexander Cummings. Through his leadership, that was in 2019, the CPP won about 7 seats during the May 10th senatorial election. So, to see the CPP dying down under the leadership of the former vice president, then that means something is wrong somewhere. But for me, you know, as maybe someone who is thinking behind the box, or maybe someone who is thinking outside of the box, I will tell you that the CPP, or the former CPP, is not the other current CPP, but the former CPP was destroyed by 2 persons. I can squarely tell you that, yeah, 2 persons that fought high for the CPP, but then to be destroyed. And that was Henry Costa, and that of even the senator of Massachusetts County, Senator Davos Dillon. Senator Davos Dillon and that of Henry Costa, these are people that fought high for the CPP or by then to be destroyed. Because when the former vice president took over, we expect the CPP to be more robust. We expect the CPP to be more vibrant. We expect the CPP to be more strong. But instead, we start seeing the CPP started, you know, started fighting people, you know, doing a lot of things, and that was not so good for them. And at the end of the day today, you see that the CPP were dragged to court, to the government, you know, government who are not want for CPP to be strong. So government started doing everything to make sure that they destabilize the CPP. Choose some CPP members. And that was bad on the part of the former vice president. because you as an elder person, that everybody trusts you and say, yes, this man going to reunite. In fact, he's going to bring the CPP together. In fact, he's going to make the CPP to be more vibrant. Instead, he was the one that set over the CPP and make the CPP today to become the former CPP. And now we see a brand new CPP. Now they want to come back. So
Yes.
how are you coming back?
And Melbourne, when we say this, they say, oh, you can't, and that older man, you can't tolerate. First of all, Joseph Human Boakai lied to the Liberian people when he came from America. He lied. He said, when he come back, the problem in the CPP, he was going to fix the problem. Joseph Human Boakai, when he took over from Yomli Kanga Lauren, had the CPP, they will put it together and paraphrasing him, and winning would be the only option. They would put the force so deep that winning would be the only option for the CPP, and all that extra stuff. So lie. He never lived up to one of those things. The next thing we saw him doing was to go to court. The same case that he said we were going to resolve. He was going to court and were moving around, and you had these United Party, shameless partisans, some of them, today passing around, the hustlers passing around.
Thank you.
They were passing around calling criminal defendant, and the criminal defendant. Today, they have the audacity to be the same people calling for unity. Today, they're the same people.
And the reason why they're calling for unity, Steve, you know the reason why? Because Henry Costa left the country overnight because of shame. So because Henry Costa felt that, oh yes, I have the power, in fact, I have the people under my control and so on. And Darius Delontu also, who was heavily supported by a group of oppositions, think that he have Monserrato under his control. So because of that, he said, okay, but then Henry Costa, we can rock, in fact, we can make things work. So be it whether Musa Belete or not, we can start making work. Now, where are they? Henry Costa came to this country shamefully. He arrived, he slept. The next day, they got to mobilize people to go for him at the airport. Today, Darius didn't today, the motorcyclists, the young people are also frustrated by his behavior. People that gave money for Senator Darius did not campaign. Today, they are frustrated. Even the salary cut that he talked about, that, oh yes, every month he's going to give to Monserrato County. Where is the salary? No salary. So what's the difference between you and the government? What's the difference? So today, if you see the people are judging them because of their behavior. So now they are looking at that, oh yes, it's like we are losing weight, or in fact, we are losing the people. So when we're not careful, when we not put things together now, in fact, and bring the CPP back as or maybe, you know, they use this wisdom. So they are not using that wisdom to make sure that they cajole. Let me just tell you, if I may just use the word, they want to cajole on the Musa Hassan Belete and that of the rest of Alexander Cummings and the rest of the team that don't follow their CPP. That when they are not careful, the same group of people are going to come back on them and ride on them. I mean, that's what I'm saying.
Well, again, I will continue to say this. President George Weah cannot be your target. Having a better Liberia providing option, make your case to the Liberian people, should be your better option. If the Unity Party, Joseph Human Boakai, wants or United Front, that's good. There is nothing wrong with it. They know what to do. They know the right thing to do. They must do the right thing. Let me tell you something. Liberia is not for one person. All of our neighbors stream buried in Liberia there. It's not for one person. And no one Liberian is better than the other Liberian person or people to make you feel like you are entitled to the presidency or you're entitled to anything. No, that's not true. That audacity and that entitlement syndrome that is running through the minds of some of Joseph Human Boakai supporter and the Unity Party partisan, and maybe Joseph Boakai by extension, you better wake up from your sleep. You better wake up. It will not hold water. Y'all will do the right thing. Y'all will compete. Y'all will make your cases to the Liberian people. And then we will decide as Liberians who we will vote for and who we will carry. If y'all think y'all will sneak behind the horse and go use that you're talking in the horse, oh, let the man just go with the pape, and the pape can make him president. He will never. Just like Human Bwaga is not able to make anybody president. You'll carry that you topic conversation somewhere else. Because if he could make somebody president, he would make himself president first. Nobody needs to pass through Joseph Human Bwaga to be president. Because Joe, we are now passed through Joseph Human Bwaga to be president. Joseph Human Bwaga has never been president before to make people president. So this foolish conversation where you pass around, you make it seem like the road to the presidency is through Joseph Bwaga or it's through the Unity Party. It's utopic, it's misleading, it's falsified, it's delusional. It don't make any sense. You need to wake up from your slumber and you need to get serious. You need to do the Liberian people business, humble yourselves, and work for this. The presidency doesn't walk to your door. Nobody owes Joseph Human Bwaga the presidency. No, he needs to work for it. The same mentality they pass around with the flock they in Lofa County.
And Steve, you got to give us some updates about the fundraising program. Because that whole thing, in fact, we saw on it. In fact, Steve, it's just so frustrating. This is why some of us will keep saying this. You can't build individual. And I'm seeing Liberia, or I'm seeing Liberia politics is always building individual instead of Liberia politics building the country. Now, where in this world that you have a political party that have so many representatives and senators in the House, you are struggling here and they're looking for money. So why are they paying their dues? Are they paying dues or not? You got to tell us something. If they're not paying dues, then that means something wrong somewhere.
First of all, Melbourne, let me tell you part of the problems that were in the CPP. And this is the problem I have with even the people in the ANC and the Liberty Party and other things. Look, do you know that these guys were not even paying the share, the due, while they were in the CPP? But they were the loudest people creating the problem and making the noise, feeling entitled with the inflicted egos, acting as though they are entitled to this thing, this red dress mentality. But here is something that is interesting that most people are not paying attention to. And I want to bring to the Liberian people who open the lines. We are seeing similar struggles that President George Weah had before the elections. We're seeing that struggle going on. Let me tell you the struggle. The Liberian people elected President George Weah on two major fronts. The first front was on popularity. The issue of popularity was major for President George Weah's election. We see a similar thing with Joseph Human Bwaga, that he's popular, that he doesn't need to do anything that would just elect him. Here's the second reason the Liberian people elected President George Weah. That President George Weah will use his influences, his connections internationally to bring alleviation to the sufferings of the masses, such as he plays soccer, he's well connected, he went wherever around the world. Guess what he would do? Businesses and everything else would come. That's what we were taught. That's the impression we were under. So people seriously voted for President George Weah with a mindset that once he became president, he would use his connection. Guess who President George Weah's connections were at the time? They see Sheikh, they're not making noise here. They took money from the Russians and other people. They can't pay back. Today, the yo-yo between them, and are the ones who pass around and celebrate. Since President George Weah became president, any investors not come? Investors not come? That's it. Okay, so let me make a comparative analysis here.
Yeah, quickly.
The comparison here is Joseph Human Bwaga was vice president for 12 years. As evidence of that, he claimed that he was a packed race car. I challenged the United Party and Joseph Human Bwaga openly that he was not a packed race car as he claimed. That is false.
He was not. In fact, he sounds as the sex.
Let me add something. Let me add something to this conversation. Let me add something to this conversation so that Liberian people can know. The way I know Joseph Human Bwaga was not just a vice president and doing nothing. He was not a ceremonial vice president. Today, United Party partisans can brag with a picture with Xi Jinping, who China's president, who took picture with Joseph Yuma Boakai. Joseph Yuma Boakai went there. When you have these kind of diplomatic connections, it's important for you to make and build relationships at this point. Joseph Yuma Boakai has yet to prove to the world that he built any kind of relationship or connections. Joseph Yuma Boakai took pictures with one of the most famous, loved president of the entire world, Barack Obama. Joseph Yuma Boakai comes to the United States. He can even have a visit with people who are still in the legislature today in America, especially from the Democratic side. Democrats are in power. The vice president of Barack Obama, by right, Joseph Yuma Boakai is supposed to be hanging out with Joe Biden, hanging out with congressmen and women that worked in the Obama administration, because he had that relationship and that connection. He was unable to build it. Let me tell you something.
That's the point. I like that.
The problem with him now, because Joseph Yuma Boakai does not have the connection. He doesn't have the gravitas. Don't let the people lie to you. They will get you the same scam. They seen Vlad here on 24/7. We are all for serious business. And we want change. We say the truth so that we can get change.
But that's the point. Because if you want change,
he has no connections. That's why they can come to America to even raise money. They got to use foundation name. Because any attempt to raise any money under the Unity Party name or emblem, it will be a total flop. It will be a disgrace. Even under the foundation, they couldn't even raise money. They couldn't raise money. It was a flop. It was disgraceful. He comes to America, instead of hanging out with the big boys in Congress and decision makers, he hanging out with Costa in basement.
Because we here in Liberia, we're thinking about seeing our former vice president hanging out with the vice president of the U.S. of A. Talking about the growth and development of Liberia. But instead, we just seen the vice president hanging around. Every time Costa goes somewhere, he's there. So,
they kind of average store. Are you serious? Are you really serious? Let me tell you something. Serious-minded men, serious-minded leaders. What a connection. Let me talk so now. Let me talk. The other time, Joe, we are here point in TV room. The other Joseph Boakai here point in basement. What kind of disgrace and shit for business is? And you want to pass around and say, we are the ones who pass around and repeat the same mistakes. When we say, we hear the person, we hear the.
So that means Liberia now.
You better wake up there.
The problem here is that Steve, people are now looking at things like, okay, this one of the person I love. It's not about you loving somebody. Some of you out there, you don't get it something straight. It's not about you loving somebody or liking somebody. It's about you thinking about Liberia. Look, if you go into the rural part of Liberia, you will cry. Some of you in the diaspora, if you go in the rural part of Liberia and see the life of our people, you will cry. So it's not about you liking somebody. Nobody here about talking about somebody liking somebody. No, we're talking about the growth and development of Liberia. That's what we're talking about. So some will want change. Some will want change. All of us want change. For me, my major concern in this country, Steve, is the system. And the system is still the same. You know, the party people left the system the same after the war. They ruled for 12 years. In fact, the system even got worse. They left the system in the hands of CDC. CDC people, they don't even care about being a system. Steve, we're in this world that people will be working. Now, you see, Maribor is active with LEC. Steve, for God's sake, people will be working as to whether they take pay or not. You don't care. But you want them to go and pay your bills. How? How are they going to pay your bills? But you don't care. So, when we say some of these people, oh yeah, no. Look at the system. The system is what we're talking about. Nobody. We're not talking about individual here. For me, I'm not like anybody. Build like your system.
My man. As we speak, Joseph Yuma Boakai has not been able to show any connections at any serious-minded level. It's all been joke. And we will fall back to the same thing. And this issue of opposition unity is in their heads. They need to go sit down somewhere with that foolishness and that foolery. They need to get serious. Let them produce to us. Even the ANC people who are even welcoming and having their conversation. All of them need to go sit down and provide to the Liberian people. Let them provide a roadmap or proposal to the Liberian people. There's unity here. What you all about? Don't worry about it. Let them know what's up. So we can question them.
What their point really? What are they really fighting for? Because if you're fighting and you are not telling us what you fight, because this is why I keep saying almost all of the time. Mr. Dudu, 1 minute. If you watch Spartacus, that guy always, when you're fighting, you always talk about his village. So if you are that person and you're not able to represent your people or your village, then who are you? So what are you fighting for? Are you fighting for maybe for the just get mansions, build horses, and just live that kind of zero life? Or what really are you fighting for?
Yeah, Dwalu, welcome to the show, my man.
Hey, Stevie, man, I got your stuff. I was caught up in the middle of something. My boy mentioned Spartacus. It's my best series ever. I think I've watched it at least 100 times, the entire series. I love it, first, second, and third. But look, Stevie, you made a lot of points, most of which I cannot argue against. For me, it's not about connection because I don't believe our internal political organization should be entirely focused on how much connection that person has so outside, but more so to how much internal connection the person can elevate so we can change conditions in the country. However, we understand connections are important, but I have not seen somebody who's proving to me that they have solid connections outside where they can extend that connection from outside, well, withdraw from that connection and bring it into Liberia for development. I haven't seen it yet. So anybody who claims that, you've seen it?
Yes. I saw it through Ellen Salif.
Yeah, okay, because the way you're describing the connection with Ellen, let me tell you something about Ellen. And yes, Ellen did bring the connection to bear, but you have to understand that when Ellen first came to power, and we cannot argue, she did bring the connection, but when Ellen first came to power, it was under different circumstances. The first female president in the Horn of Africa. And Ellen leveraged that position tremendously. Now, she utilized it. I'm not going to argue that she utilized it extensively. But with the current batch of people, now, I will concede to some extent, though, that giving Mr. Cummings working over the last 30 plus years in the private sector, he's met people at a very high level. I want to concede that Mr. Cummings does have some connection. You can call it not connection to the highest level, but I think he does have some of those. Now, Honorable Bwaga had an opportunity to have a tremendous amount of connections when he was vice president for about 12 years. Now, have we seen those connections? Look, I'm a Bwaga supporter, unrepentant Bwaga supporter, but have we seen those connections? I'm yet to see them, and I hope it comes to bear. At the end of the day, look, the reason why I came on, you said
wait, Dwalu, I beg you. That man say I want to, but you Jackie, I say I want to. Oh, what? We even take off on the process.
Yeah, no, but that's the thing, you know. In Liberia, Saturday now we have 1 hour. That is.
But you can be eating our time. We're going to hold you in contempt.
No, it not me on the management. So
yeah, that management that will hold you.
Oh, we'll go 5 more minutes, at least 5 or maybe at most, maybe 10 minutes, and see.
Yeah, Dwalu, I beg you, can you make a point? Let him take 1 or 2 calls.
But me, they're going to tell you 1 minute. But my point I'm trying to make is, I hope whoever our politics should not be based on connection. Our politics should be based on the person's capability to deliver in our society. A connection is important. I'm not downplaying connections, but at the end of the day, it should not be our focal point. That's my point I'm trying to make.
Okay. We'll get to that point with you, but let's hear from my man. Melbourne, I beg you, let's take 1 or 2 calls from LeBron. I beg you, Chief.
Yeah, so we don't take a few calls 0770-20-31-25 or 0770-203125 until Mr. Dwalu is talking about Dwalu, the people. I'm not talking about connection. It's not just about how you feel or something. But keep the calls coming 0770-20-31-25. Please just be brief. A minute per call and to this caller. Good evening.
Thank you for being becoming the first caller of the program.
My brother, go ahead quickly. What's the name and from where you joining us?
Thank you very much. This is Sunny Mohammed coming from Twala System of 15 on the Puja.
Okay, Mohammed, go ahead.
Let me once again applaud Steve Ben for the analysis, for their critical analysis that they are providing. I think in this country, we get in or good leaders and the people to serve the situation to see how they have people that to be improved.
That's the thing.
Like they always say, please.
Yeah, Steve, I think you got to take the guard number. I'm going to text the guard number to you, Steve, please. So, yeah. So, thank you so much. And to this caller, good evening. Yeah, my brother, what's your name quickly and from where you joining us?
Okay, my name is Patrick from DJ.
Go ahead, Chief.
Yeah, okay. Whatsoever analysis Brother Steve was making analysis regarding Joseph Bwaga. So, when it comes to really the popularity, if you put Cummings and Bwaga together and get to an opinion pool, you will actually find out that Mr. Bwaga was
Granted. So do you also agree that? Okay, so do you also agree that the former vice president also destroyed the CPP?
No, he didn't destroy it was due to Mr. Cummings' desperateness for the leadership.
I don't know where you got desperate, but anyway, to this quarter. Good evening.
Good evening, how are you?
I'm doing great, thank God. What's your name quickly and from where you joining us?
I'm Andrew S. Tucker, calling from Magibi, Kakara City.
Go ahead, Chief.
Yeah, I just want to in the government mind, how they call the guys who talking about Joseph Walker is like this, like that. Let me tell you, elections in that grow now is go with number, they go with integrity. I don't care no matter how you talk about Joseph Walker, he is the face for Nigeria.
So do you really see, excuse me?
He's the only man I can challenge George we are now. Besides Joseph Walker, even the Fumis you're talking about, he don't know the culture of this country.
Okay, granted, but Joseph Walker was voted out 2017. Do you agree to that?
Because the reason that's simple. Because Nigeria was like, thinking that when George Weah will come to power, everything will be bread and butter. Because of his being in the war, the warfare, he carried the war, so he had a lot of, connection and stuff. So that was the reason why the people voted him, because they thought he was from the Swamp community, so he collaborate us with the suffering. But instead of that, it's worse now.
But the former vice president, the former vice president was also handling the CPP, and the CPP was heavily destroyed.
Because he saw something ahead of him.
Who now?
Let me just say this to you. Look at how the coalition was funded. When you go into politics, it's not about how much money you have or how much education you have. You must look at who the people love among you, so that you can choose that person.
But they agree to every agreement, though. Yeah.
Because of money greed, because Kumi had the money, so he wanted to use the influence on the money.
It was not coming. That CPP agreement was put in almost 2-3 months before time. So don't say that. Good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, my brother, what's your name and from where you joining us?
My name is Emmanuel Clergy, and I call you from the rehab community.
Go ahead, Emmanuel.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you for this splendid conversation. For we, the Liberian here locally, always for me, this is always the question I've asked between political leaders in this country, and so whether they are for the Liberian people or they are seeking their own interest, especially between these two political leaders, Mr. Cummings and Mr. Walker. Should they come together in the name of the Liberian people and deliver what the Liberian people desire, or should they fight for their own interest? This is the question. If they can answer the question, then I don't think
But can I ask you too also, the former vice president was handling the CPP, and the CPP got destroyed.
Yeah, because it did not get destroyed because of his behavior. It was because of some, this set the fashion, people refusing to compromise certain things, on the basis of...
Why will you compromise the truth?
Actually, we did not discover a Jew as to who was at fault, because they went to court. Why they should have compromised in-house, they took it out of the house.
And the former vice president testified against Alexander Cummings.
Why he was gone? Because before they could go to that court, Mr. Walker kept calling Mr. Cummings to come and let them have a reconciliation on the issue. But Mr. Cummings has decided to say, I cannot go second to somebody. This is my policy, and I must go.
Okay, so let's take 1 or 2 more calls, then we'll get back to our panelist. Good evening. Hello?
How are you?
Yeah, my brother, I'm doing good. Thank God. What's your name quickly and from where you joining us?
I'm Vani, calling you from FKD Boulevard.
Go ahead, Vani.
I want to speak on the topic. To provide the information clearly that the party connection has nothing to do with the developmental orientation of the nation.
Who now?
How the connection in the world. When the party wants to do better, the nation can do better. The party can how the connection in the world. When the party wants to do better, he can do better.
So that means Liberia don't need any president that have that connection, right?
To be connected.
Okay.
You will play that you will have the connection, then you're going to do better for the nation of Liberia. Most certainly, if on the strong community, you are going to do better for the people of Liberia. More The connection fear us.
So where do you want to go now? The connection fear you. Where do you want to go? Opposition is not united. Honorable Joseph Yimam Waka, also who was the head of CPP, or the former CPP. Then where do you want me to be? Why you don't want to accept the truth? Why you don't want to accept the truth? Yeah. What? So intangible. Okay, in slip of the line. So me just take 1 or 2 more calls and I get back to Steve. Hello? Yeah, man, brother, I'm doing good. Thank God. In fact, we are fine. Thank God. What's the name and from where you joining us?
Okay, this is Joe. I'm calling you from Boulevard Junction.
Go ahead, Joe.
Let me kind of disagree with the guy in America. Look, I noticed that you're talking about connection. Is that what you bring to the table for election? That is totally false and misleading to the Liberian people.
They were just suggesting though.
If you don't know, it's not just objection. He made those statements. He emphasized on it. He condemned the foreign government. He condemned the former vice president. He condemned the president based on connection.
Okay.
What has connection done? Look, you are in America. Did Barack Obama needed Liberian connection to win elections in America? You guys come to the table to discuss issue. Wait, I'm coming. Let me finish. You lay your thought. I will give you this change. I can't let it on me. You soon cut me off. You come to the table with the election, and you're talking about things that is totally misguided. It's totally misguided. You don't need connection. You need the diplomacy. When you get into power, you find that different countries come. And once you have that diplomatic tie, you have that way to deal with people diplomatically, you're able to approach you, just like this government is doing, just like previous governments did, right? You don't have to have multiple connections all around before becoming president of your country. Who told you that? Set it all around Africa. Is that what happened?
No.
You have to build connection all around before you become president?
No, but company have to come to country. Company have to come. There are a lot of business people. There are a lot of things that need to happen.
The reason why government have what we call structure, right? The government has structure, and you got people within society that can start businesses and bring it into your country. Your policy, your rule of law. Now, these are things that attract foreign investment. Rule of law, the way that people deal with issues, education.
So that go back to the rule of law. Is Liberia rule of law very strong or weak? Which one?
Mama, let's take other color. I beg you back, so we can tell more people. I beg you.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. It's getting you. Don't worry. Go ahead.
Mama, you know, I beg you, let's take other color back.
My man, you want to be making confusion? Yeah, man.
Let the man make for like baby. I go, boy. Let's bring other color. I beg you.
Yeah, that's the kind of famous. So yeah, are we still taking calls, or are we going to get back to you guys so you can make sure that you?
My man, let's ask one call. We can get a 5 minutes.
They will call us, and in fact, the feeling about this country is
thank you so much.
Interesting.
Let's take the last call.
Hello. Yeah, my brother. Good evening. What's the name of where joining us? Okay, go ahead, Chief.
Okay, first of all, let me dispute the line of your guest in the studio. The first thing about life that you must know, if I were Kumi and I know Kumi is listening to this show, if Kumi is listening to this show,
he's listening. Go ahead.
If you're listening to the show, if that guy is connected to Kumi, should automatically this meeting should not be connected because it's not in the interest of Kumi.
Well, the man we care about community, but the man for never communicate. Yeah. I'm there, don't go out, Chief.
Now, the first thing about life when it comes to election is about normal, it's about popularity.
Granted.
What I have served this country for the 2 years, and there is not a people that can indict him as being a corrupt person. These are people who need.
No. The man agreed that in fact that the man said that that was scoring opportunity. Don't say that kind of thing. The man said, excuse me, the man said we squander. So when man squander, why me? So don't say that kind of thing. The man said it's squander. Okay, so should we say that Natana man get into squander? Oh man.
And besides it, Kumi have almost told that if they were in the private sector. Working in the private sector and working this kind of government we have in Liberia that have no system. For someone to work for more than 30 years and still being better, these are people we should build on.
Oh, hello, excuse me. Do you say that, I don't hear you talking about one of the Joseph work in Liberia government that have no system?
Yes.
Oh.
We have no system.
Okay.
We don't have.
All right, thank you. So you see that you work in the government that have no system, and you leave the same thing empty like that and get out. That's so frustrating. Let's go back to you, Steve. Go ahead, Chief, and the rest of.
Well, first of all, just before Dwalu comes in, Dwalu, I don't know if you want to make any comment really quick.
No, for me, look, I mean, the connection thing is worthwhile talking about. But I want us to understand something, though. You can have all the connection in the world. If you rule, if there is bad governance in a society, it can erode the so-called connection you do have. Connection is not something that's going to always be there. It has to be maintained through proper governance. And I want us to understand that. But Steve, let me give it back to you, bro.
Thank you so much, Dwalu. We'll get back with you for to talk in depth about the connection for the next 10 or 15 minutes. But I want to make sure that the listeners and the viewers, please don't misquote me. Those of you who are maybe in your feelings or you want to just
we gotta go, Steve. We gotta go. So you can talk to the people.
Let me say this to them. I spoke in terms of connection in the context of one of the reasons for which George Weah was voted in. The Liberian people were so optimistic that his connections would have brought some alleviation to poverty, such as he would use his connection, leverage them to bring whether that companies, investors, and other people, so that people can have something to do. As most recently, Prince Johnson even spoke to that as one of the reasons for which he's not going to support him, because there have been no investors. Our people have not been alleviated from poverty. And I said, in contrast to that also, we can also point the fact out that Vice President Joseph Yuma Boakai, with all of the opportunities he had to build relationships to get some connections, he has not been able to do that. When he becomes president, let me tell you something. When your Christmas will be good, we can know from the eve. Vice President Joseph Yuma Boakai comes to America, former Vice President. He in basement with Costa there, passing behind Costa there, going to. Then the lion say he had a couple of engagement. Engagement with whom? Who? You think we're stupid, yeah? So the vice president, nobody man lie, make any mistake. He will not be able to answer the Liberian people problem. No, he will not be able to do it. We have seen similarity with Joe Weah. You're passing around making excuses for him.
So Steve, we gotta go, but quickly before we leave, because Mr. Dwalu, the people, Mr. Dwalu and the people, that's so great. And, but let me tell you, Steve, all these systems today that we all crying from, all these systems today that we all boasting of today, they all coming from the United Party. Liberia fought war for nearly 14 years. 20 or let's say 2003, all the systems were down. So there was no any system that were active. During the interim leadership of the late Judy Bryant, all the systems, everything was down. They were having a rebel government, or everybody was part of the government. So 2006, when the former president took over, so she didn't want to create all these systems. She didn't want to make sure that all these systems come to be. So when the system is active, we're going to squarely or go back to the United Party and tell them that the system is active, or the system is dormant, or the system is bad. So I don't see why United Party want to shy away when you talk about the system is bad. Then they say no.
In fact, there was system in United Party, they put system in place. As evidenced by that, they have to do the anti-corruption court. They have all the different systems to put in place for check and balances. So that caller does not know what he's talking about. He's looking for a job, and he think he can come here and lie to our people. Let me tell you something. The problem we are seeing now, if we can confront it and have the necessary conversation, we will head for serious problem down the line.
Serious problem. Mr. Johnson. Mr. Johnson.
Yeah,
I think you got to run away, but the deceptive claims coming from President Weah and his connections cannot be attributed to Honorable Boakai. Now, listen, I don't know why, and Stephen, you said this, and I would just add on to what you said. The only way we can change Liberia for the better, we have to talk about things. I don't know why people always have their panties in a bunch when something is spoken about that does not favor that person who claims it's not favoring them. Listen, we have to talk. Talking, jaw-jawing doesn't harm anybody. I mean, look, me and Steve don't support the same person, but I see no compulsion of any kind of energy towards me from Steve because it's just opposing view. There's nothing wrong with this. Stop taking this thing personal. It's my claim that I'm making. Mr. Johnson, I guess we'll be you farewell.
Yeah, most definitely. So tomorrow we're going to start tomorrow the same time, 6 o'clock. And trust me, Steve, and the rest of the team want to say bye-bye from our end. Thank you so much for following Truth FM and the rest of you there in the diaspora. Thank you so much for following Truth FM. Thank you so much, Steve. And my brother, Eduardo, I salute you, Chief.
Take care, bro.
My man, Dwalu, let's get to the conversation here really quick for the next 10 or 15 minutes. First of all, I want to say thanks for coming on. The last time you were on here, I think someone sent me your show after you left. And I think on the show, we had a pleasant exchange. And one of the reasons I like to engage you is I see you as somebody who's not afraid to talk or make the case. And that's how it should be. I don't care who you choose to support. It's okay for you to be around for them to make the case against your person or for your person. It doesn't matter. But after the show, somebody sent me, a copy of your show that you had on the drive. And John Lobo had the audacity to question my credibility. And I took serious offense to that, and I put an open challenge to him that the next time he does that, I will go for the very first time on my page. And before I do that, I will make a 1 week announcement. And I will lay him out to the public who he is. He will never bring that foolishness around me. You don't question my credibility, and you know that I'm not that person. Josh knows me very well than maybe most people on Facebook. So for him to come in public, only because me you had an exchange, to say, oh, Dwalu, when you come, you said you were open to us inviting you here so you can talk the reason for which you supporting Joseph Human that bad thing. It will give the opportunity for you to make the case for Joseph Human and convince other people. So when you say you support Joseph Human and in the past you were supporting Cummins, and we say we want to ask you as to what changed or what happened, that bad thing there for somebody to make sure and start talking about, oh, you don't listen to the people, you don't do the one, and you don't do that one. Like I said, yeah.
See,
I don't especially my friend, man.
Yeah, let me say this to you.
Let me say this to you. You will not want to bring out foolishness.
This is my first time really hearing the details of that. Maybe I gotta.
You were on the show that day when you made that foolishness.
Yeah, I was on the show, but sometimes you don't hear everything on the show while you're on the show. But George Lobo is a grown man, and I believe you can address him directly. I'm not going to.
I already sent a message to him. I'm sending a repeated message to the so you can understand.
Yeah, so
I on my radar.
My thing is, I'm responsible for everything I do, say, and do. So I will allow other men to be responsible for what they say and what they do is up to them. But at the end of the day, look, I say this to us all the time. My talking points are not going to be restricted to a pro-UP party platform. I love engaging people that disagree with me because I really believe this is the only way we can elevate the discourse. I don't want people that disagree with me. At the end of the day, it forces me to think at a higher level. So if you disagree with me, I want to go on our platform. In fact, I've asked for instance, Gilman, I used to go on his platform until he realized I don't support President Weah. He refused. I hound him. Listen, bring me on. Where people disagree with me, I don't care. Look, the insults will come. I believe if you're going to be talking in the political space of any country, you have a very thick skin. I don't care about anybody, what anybody says. Short of you threatening my life. Now, I would take that very seriously, but cussing, it doesn't bother me one bit. So I don't care. I'd love to go on the platforms that disagree with me. At the end of the day, I believe we got to talk about Liberia. Nothing should be off limits. If you're coming into the political space, listen, the girlfriend you slept with in 12th grade, I want to know about her. I know you say, oh, it's important. Everything is important. That's how I see it. I give it back to you.
You want to start looking at the political leader and all that do that?
Oh, yeah.
They got that noise. They probably man, he's something like that, bro. But anyways, like I said, the context in which I spoke about connections, and I would never say connections would be the only reason for people being elected as president. That would be very immature and disingenuous. Let me put it that way. But I think when people, all of these things must come into play. In all honesty, you and I were aware that one of the reasons for which the Liberian people elected President George Weah was they counted so much on his connection, only to come to see that It was a failed connection that didn't exist. It never existed. It would not exist because the league in which he operated. And I made a comparison. I would stand by it. Joseph Human Boyka has so many opportunities. Joseph Human Boyka should not be coming to America and even be worrying about fundraiser at the level of the people he met. But now we're be talking about Joseph Human Boyka coming to America, people like Nancy Pelosi, meeting congressional leaders and other people who are influential, who know what's up. This is the context in which I spoke. But for somebody to claim that, you know, in terms of connection, if Joseph Human Boyka does not have that connection, if and ever the Labrador Port vote for him, we will have that problem and that struggle. Connection does not start when you become president. Those relationships are established for the most part. People know you, or they know somebody that know you that they can entrust to invest or bring their investment around. And that is the fact of the matter. As part of addressing the plight of our people, you would need these connections. You would.
Yeah, but Stephen, yeah. What I'm getting from your premise is this: you insinuating that connection implies direct monetary value, not necessarily true. Now, Honorable Boyka had interactions with the people. Now, I will concede this point though. Given the length of time Honorable Boyka has spent in the Liberian space, especially as vice president, meeting presidents of this country, meeting presidents in China, around the globe, he should not be struggling for money. If he is, then I would say, okay, Stephen, that's a fair point. You should have connection in our ways. So listen, but you have to understand, you cannot be playing tit for tat when it comes to the presidency of the Republic of Liberia, because you don't want to do what we are hearing from Sheikh Shakur and President Weah, where they are offering money to President Weah, and once they win, they're going to come in and take over the Putuman. They're going to take over other segments of the society so they can bring business. You cannot have that kind of connection in that way. But when you're talking about connection where he's met these people, he's established relationship that can eventually help Liberia, I will concede that point, because if you're serving at that level, your relationship will improve the country. Maybe raising money is a whole different ball game. Is your connection focused on whether he's raising money or his capability to bring investors to the country? What are you questioning?
Thank you. My connection is focused on both places. His capability to be able to draw these people's attention, the relationship he's built. And I'll have to disagree with you respectfully that connections can, in fact, especially in the political arena, can be translated to some extent to monetary values, because they're attractions. The people that you're going to meet, let's say, for example, if you're meeting somebody like Nancy Pelosi and other people, and you're connecting with these congressional people and stuff like that, you are not making a case for them to be able to get what are aids or other monetary values or other things to bring to us.
After you're in power, now while you're running, they don't give you money while you're.
No, I'm not saying while you're running. I'm not saying while you're running. I'm saying this relationship, we don't see them, because when Joseph Human Boyka comes to America, I'm saying we should see him hanging out with these people. If he leveraged those connections in the past, the man met with Barack Obama. You can't get it any better than that. They had, so all of these different relationships, I'm saying they should have been cultivated. Today, we would have seen the connections from there. At least, you know what it means for Joseph Human Boyka to come to America. And then, Dwalo, are you there? And then,
I'm here.
And then we see him maybe with a visit with Nancy Pelosi. And they're discussing maybe issues about the country and so forth. All of these things, they set the bar. They set you up to say, yes, this guy, why do you think people take picture when the Joseph Human Boyka come and meet with the ambassador in Labrador? They take and put it on Facebook. Why do you think so? It shows some form of connections. Why do you think when Sheikh then gave the money to President George Weah and they traveled to other places, they took pictures and other things? Those pictures were meant to tell the Labrador people that, hey, these guys got some form of connection. Let's trust them. Let's bring them around, whatever it is. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but Moses, look, Honorable Boyka was dealing with the government now. What I'm going to say is going to piss off a lot of ANC folks, but I have to say anyways. This is what I'm going to say. When you're dealing government to government, it's entirely different. Now, if the Vice President Boyka becomes the president of Liberia, and now he cannot get these government-to-government interactions producing results in Liberia, I will argue against that. But when you're saying he's an individual private citizen, where he has to use that connection and garner some kind of favor from them by getting some monetary value directly, I don't see it now. If you say he had interaction with business people that can help fund this campaign, I see that. But these government-to-government relationships do not apply in that sense, Stevie. Until he holds the mental power, they cannot speak to him directly as they will as a private citizen. They're different.
See, I think you are reading what I'm saying differently.
Okay, let me hear you.
And I'll go back again to my assertions.
Okay.
Vice President Joseph Yuma Boaka, for 12 years at the level he was,
Correct.
for the kind of caliber of people that he met with, cannot come to America and be passing behind Costa holding plastic there, going to Waterside Market. That's demeaning. That's disrespecting. The level he sat, the people he met. Mama, the man met people who are decision makers of the world. Those are connections. Those are relationships you build. Those are things that you leverage so that even when he come into the country, that connection, that relationship can still be maintained. Even having just a bilateral meeting as friends or as, let me tell you something. All I'm saying is this. If we can see you sitting at that level, my brother, it's a waste of time. You lack the connection.
Stevie.
You becoming president will tell you back to that level because Barack Obama is not there. There
is something called changing of the guards, right? Now, one bunch of government is in power, and that bunch of government leaves. My sister, the reason why I say ANCS will get mad at me will be because President Bouaka has to be president of the Republic of Liberia to capitalize on that connection he has, because it will be dealing from government to government. So, he got to be president first. That's what I'm saying. But here's the point I'm trying to make. Look, Vice President Bouaka met these guys while they were all in power. They have to give him that due respect. Now, I think the word we're using, connection, is being used wrongly. I want to call it diplomatic interactions, because connection implies that we have a deeper connectivity going on where we have some dealings there. But initially, that dealing was on a diplomatic level. It's not the same as having a connection to a college roommate. That you guys have so many, stories backdoor, and you can call your college roommate and say, listen, man, I see your job just opening your company. You're the new VP. I need something. That's not the kind of connection they're having. They're having connection in the now, in the present. Remember now, countries do not have friends or this or that. Countries have interests. What interests does Bouaka have to offer as a private citizen, for which that connection is going to come to full bear right now from the Chinese or the Norwegian or the Americans? He has absolutely nothing. The countries are not just going to give up their resources to a private citizen. They give it when he can give something back to them. This is how connection on the diplomatic level works. So the issue of connection, I think, is a bigger word. I want to call it interaction. Now, establishing connection beyond that point is something we can talk about, but I don't think it's connection. It's more of a interaction. I like to call it that, interaction.
Well, I think the connections, I think, in my view, the connection here is the right word. It's appropriate to use.
Okay.
And I was saying in the context of Dualu, whether people want to spin this or however they want to put this, it's important for these connections to have been leveraged. Give me a second caller. I'll put you on in a minute. It's important for these connections to have been leveraged by the vice president. It's important for these to be used, even at the presidential level. When presidents are running, before you run as a candidate, before you run for presidency or whatever it is, you leverage all of your connections.
I agree.
Barack Obama is still a stakeholder as we speak in the Democratic Party. And Barack Obama still has a voice in the party, as evidenced by that. His second man in command is currently leading. You think if Joseph Yuma Bouaka leveraged that connection, go through former President Obama to speak with Joe Biden and build a relationship with him and connect with him at that level. So this is where I'm speaking from. But but
then still you're looking at it wrong if that's where you're speaking from. Now, I know Tom did not suggest that Honorable Bouaka has to be president before he can get connection. I said before he can utilize those connections that he's gotten, because no country is going to deal with him individually. They have to deal with him as a country-to-country dealing. You have to understand the distinction. Now, my thing is, look, first of all, Obama is a foreigner to Liberia. The connection that Honorable Bouaka has with Obama is not on that level. Obama is talking within his own country. Honorable Bouaka has connections in Liberia. He has influence in Liberia. Now, they use a stronger word, influence, in Liberia. That influence cannot be exerted here in the West so easily if you have nothing to offer to them. Now, you can go borrow money from business people. You can ask them to contribute to your sphere. And I want you to understand another thing. Governments cannot just contribute to our elections. It's illegal, by the way. I hope you don't understand that. They cannot contribute to an individual candidate. It's against our law. So we have to understand how we play the issue of connection. And Justin, I hope you call, Mama. I would love for you to go. Pajibo, please call. Go ahead, Stevie.
Let me get a caller. Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from, please?
This is Ben, the undercover citizen calling from Minnesota. I want to talk to my brother Dualu. I think he's making some good point, but I think here is where he's missing the point. Number one, the last time I checked, I know that the former vice president of Ghana, he was in Kenya speaking.
My man, hold on. Let me put a call on hold. Hold on. Caller, I'll put you on hold because I already have somebody there. Right after this person will be you. So just hold on, okay?
You don't have to tell them all that, Stevie. Just put them on hold. They get it.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm leaving you, Justina. You will call today.
So what I was saying to my brother Dualu was that the last time I checked, there have been a series of engagement of African presidents who left government. They have been speaking to universities. They have been speaking on conferences. So these are the places where these connections are leveraged. Can Dualu tell us when was the last time outside of Liberia did we see Mr. Waka use any of his connections outside? Was he speaking to any university? Was he speaking to any group besides coming and sit down in the basement and watching people play pool? That's not what that's not the connection we are talking about. Travel, going to Africa, get engagement. Ellen Johnson said she left office, have been called to different places. This time, Ellie is not packing him now. He is packing himself because he's not leveraging that position that he had before. He met people. The thing is that what do you do after this woman have held your hand? Now she's not holding your hand anymore. Now you are loose. Get there, go and speak. Get speaking engagement. These are the things that we're talking about.
Right.
It's not anything else. I hope you will speak to that.
Thank you, Ben. Thank you, Ben. Thank you for helping me out with that word because maybe I was using it the wrong way, but I appreciate the fact that you call. Let me get the other caller so that Dualu for that is out today. My man, let me get the other caller because I click over now, then the caller hang out. So they hang up. I mean, let me get the caller really quick. Okay, the caller calling back. Yes, caller, what's your name? Where you calling from, please?
Yeah, Steve, this is Mr. Maolo.
Yeah, Mr. Maolo, please go ahead, please.
Yeah, I called because I heard Dualu talking about things that he seemingly don't know anything about. Who told you have to be in government to have connection? Cummings comes here all the time. He is in D.C. meeting senators, representatives, and top business people for the whole time he's here. And you got a vice president who was vice president for 12 years. Come here and can't even leave Philadelphia. And you want to make an excuse for that? When they talk about connection, they say, Joe, we have a connection. The people who said he had the connection, did they verify? Cummings' connections can be verified. Did they verify Joe Weir or they just assumed that he had connections? That's the problem with us. We don't do our homework, and then when we get the results that we want, then we act like we're surprised. Check the people out. We say Cummings got connections, check him out. His rating is on the internet, it's all over the place. Go there and check him out. Then check out the other people. We're saying that this man has clout more than anybody running in the race. Whether it's connection politically or business-wise. What does Liberia need? Jobs, money. That's what Liberia needs. And of all the people, he's the best, most capable person to bring it. Because he serves on boards of Fortune 500 companies. He serves on big company boards. They trust him. They know who he is. And that's what the connection does.
Thank you.
So thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
You got more calls? Can I respond quickly?
Before I take another call, you want to address?
Yeah, let me respond very quickly.
Please,
I have a
go ahead.
tendency to talk very fast, and I want to be very slow about this because I seem a lot of people are missing this. At no point did I suggest, under any circumstance, that you have to be in government to get connection. This is what I did say, and I want you to listen very carefully. I'm saying from government to government, in order to be able to utilize that connection to its full, you have to hold a statutory position, such as the presidency, to utilize that. It doesn't mean you cannot get connection while you're in the private sector. I did not suggest you have to be president before you can get connection. That's not what I said. You can claim whatever you want, but go back to the tip and listen to it, people. Stop changing the world. Make your point without lying. I want you to understand that. Go ahead, I'll give it back to you.
Okay, folks, we'll be wrapping up here in the next 2-3 minutes. I like to have Dwalu and other people on for us to have the necessary conversation. You know, at the end of the day, we all want the best for Liberia. Yeah. Dwalu, what is your take on this issue of opposition unity after all the rigmarole and after everything that has happened? What is your take?
It's been my case ever since, because I, for one, I don't want President Weah to be giving any chance of any kind whatsoever. This man must leave this office. It's the most consequential position in our country. We cannot just give it to anybody. This is what we've done. And I believe the quickest way to oust this man is by having a collaboration. I've always said this. Now, how that collaboration is formulated is left to the parties that are playing this thing out. But it seems everybody is greedy and everybody wants their way or no way at all. At the end of the day, we are putting the entire country at risk. That's what we are talking about now. People can have their claims against Honorable Boakai about he being too old. Legitimate point. Make your point. A lot of people believe he's not old. He can still do the job. It doesn't require heavy lifting. So many points. We have to talk about these points without malice. So I ask, without malice. I mean, if you cannot, great. Be malicious about what you say. But you can't lie when the person is firmly seated and can respond to your lies in a way that is direct. Now, saying something that you don't agree with doesn't necessarily mean the person does not understand what you're talking about.
I got a few callers. I beg you, let me interrupt you to get a call. Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from, please? 1 minute.
Yes, sir. Thank you for taking my call, but my name is Dorek Paul calling from Minnesota.
Yeah, Dorek Paul, go ahead. Go for it.
Yeah, so, there's a saying that says, your network is a network,
Right.
So, so even Mr. Cummings, that's why his position, he's still meeting more people.
Right.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Cummings, recently in Europe, and he posted a picture of him, and the former president of Israel. And he was talking about how you just met this man, and you're getting to know this man. Mm-hmm. So what the man is doing is he's building more and more relationship internationally. That if he's blessed tomorrow to become the president, he's got that into this relationship to see how much he can get to benefit Liberia. That's what we're talking about, Mr. Brother Dwalu. That Mr. Boyka, it's not show us anything in terms of relationship. We do understand that the presidency, has its own power.
Thank you.
But really, government is business. And in a business relationship, you need connection. You need comfort. Somebody comfortable with you for them to do business with you.
Thank you.
That's what we're talking about.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yes. Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from, please? Hello? Please, please turn on the monitor. What's your name? Where you calling from, please?
Oh, I'm Lawrence. I'm calling from Canada.
Yeah, Lawrence, you have a minute. Go for it, please.
Great. I just want to tell Dwalu that, positing, on a section of his analysis is not necessarily a lie. He goes on the defensive. As well, people are lying. I didn't say that. No. You're a public figure. You're on SKTV. You post your opinion, which is fair, and then people analyze it and respond to that. So even though they have different opinion, it doesn't necessarily mean that they are telling lies. It's just that one analysis of what you're saying, right? And then you posited that Mr. Parker doesn't necessarily need to have the connections prior to being government. And that's the understanding you try to make us believe. And most of the comments were not positive to that. People believe that you need to have some level of connections, right, prior to being in the government. And you bring experience to government and you have to benefit the people. So I just want to make it clear that it's just people's opinion.
Thank you.
So because I said that they are lying, it's not fair to the audience.
Okay, thank you. Well, let me I got a few more callers here that called. Some of you called and I didn't pick up. I'm very sorry. Let me go back down the line. I will call you according to how you called. Dwalu yeah to what that Dwalu get tasking. Dwalu that people.
That's fair game, man.
Dwalu that people. Sunday to Dwalu Sunday, I can take it to the minute and deal with me.
Hey, but the high is supposed to be.
Yeah, call what's your name? Where you calling from, please?
This is Henry calling from Minnesota.
Yeah, Henrik, I'm very sorry. I tried to click over there. I hung up on you, Chief. Sorry.
Yeah, I noticed that. I tried calling by, was kind of busy. I just want to say a few things quickly on the issue of contact. I think you guys are missing something.
Yes.
And I think I want to support Dwalu on this. He's not my good friend, but I want to support him. By you meeting somebody just a little bit of meeting time, it doesn't make you have a contact with the person. I have met Jimmy Carter. I got a picture with him. No more contact at all. So is that how you develop contact? It has to be something that you continue. It's not just on a one-time basis. And I want to say quickly, if the opposition does not reconcile, they stand to lose. Thank you.
Thank you, my brother. And that picture you get with Jimmy Carter, my man, I want to see that picture. Send it to me.
I can send it to you.
Yeah, but I want that picture of you too.
Steve, I got a call here.
Yeah, go ahead, go for it.
Let me get a call. But before I say that, my brother Wayne Doe, you have a fair point. I cannot argue against that. That's a fair point. My sister Pajibu, go ahead. It's a pleasure having you on.
She called me, Sunshine.
Hey, don't call Sunshine. They get beyond my case.
No, you refuse to answer my call.
Sorry. If I click over, I will hang up on the other person.
Unfortunately, I had to call Dwalu phone number. Can you imagine? I want to be with somebody. I gotta be dealing with them on their own phone. I gotta be very safer. Yeah.
Today you call. Wow. You had to call like that?
Because the Dwalu boy, I can make me this.
45-year-old man, you call me boy. Go ahead, mama.
Yeah, 45-year-old man, your youth in Liberia, you boy.
So your own.
So Dwalu, there's things, a lot of things you guys been doing, really been following me. First of all, Costa has its own party, right? They're saying Costa, I don't know what message you're preaching to our people back home. They say Costa came and condemned Joseph Walker. Joseph Walker has no vision, Joseph Walker has no this, and blah, blah, blah. All of a sudden, now he's the face of Joseph Walker. And you guys are saying things are declining, although you don't have vision. But since Costa took over, things are no longer the same. Everything declining. I'm surprised that they not see you to the undercover political fundraiser, but because Joseph Walker don't want to share the money, so he said for the foundation. But Costa said today was $22K. So I hope they rent your owing, the people, landlord, you must take that money and pay. Because you guys say you're smart enough. You make Costa the face of Joseph Walker. You think Costa is in favor of Joseph Walker? You think Costa loves Joseph Walker more than you? That he forget about a party. You are about Joseph Walker now. And you're set over there, although I don't like I like the old man, but because he greedy, you force yourself to become president, but you're set over there. You allow Costa to disgrace this statement every day. Take that man as a bag ball, taking the ball to all the fortunate investment and in that. If Joseph Walker was your father, will you allow that? That's my question. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thanks for calling. Look, Stevie, the soul of Liberia is being fought for, and we cannot stop. Our views may be different, and there are reasons. I mean, Pajibo made some salient points. She believed one thing. But let me tell you something. Politics make extreme bad fellows. People will say one thing one day, they support another person another time. Look, I am a mere supporter of Vulnerable Black Guy. I'm not a UP person. I don't belong to any political party. I'm not an insider of any kind of any whatsoever. You're asking me a question that I cannot directly answer you. But what I would say to you is this. We have to push our agenda so it can be sold to the Liberian people and we can decide who we vote for in that country to change the law of the country. You believe Mr. Cummings has that. Look, if you heard my diatribe on Mr. Cummings, what I believe this man...
I get a call on here before you answer to Beverly. You and Beverly, on a friendship, I got a low inside. They call up.
Hold on.
Hold on. Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from, please?
My name is Sam. I'm calling from Canada.
Yeah, Sam, I see Quebec here, my man.
Yeah, one point I would like to make is,
please.
You see, you guys are looking at, connections, okay? Now, nobody will want to do business with anyone, even if that person is a president. For now, because of our past, record based on corruption, because there is nothing tangible, to do with you, because your country has been leveraged as a very corrupt country. So you have to fight, build a tangible relationship. Now, let me give you an example of a country that came from one of the worst genocide in the world. You heard a lot about, Rwanda, Steve. Rwanda had the worst genocide, okay? But now look at where, Paul Kagame has taken Rwanda too. He did not have any connections. Paul Kagame did not have any connections. But being a good leader, he has followed, the tangible of being a good leader.
Okay.
That's what I've been saying all along.
Look at where Rwanda is. Rwanda is like the cleanest country in Africa. People are running there because...
Caller. Sorry for calling you, caller. What's your name again? Because I forgot. Please.
Hello?
Yeah, what's your name again?
I said my name is Sam.
All right, Sam, that's not true. Your assertion is not true, unfortunately. You can't say Paul Kagame never had any connections. That is not true. On SKTV, we don't just speak. We speak with facts.
Where do you think he had connections from?
Wait, let me answer.
You proved to me that he had connections. You
gotta wait.
So Paul Kagame is not a stranger. Is not a stranger to the West.
Okay.
You understand? So when you say he had no connections, I say to you that is not truth of the matter.
And previously, what was his occupation? Before he became president, since you know more about him.
Whose occupation?
What was his occupation before he became
president? He was a rebel general.
He was a rebel general.
Okay. Being a rebel general.
Yeah.
You said rebel general.
Yeah, he was.
Want to do business with a rebel general?
The West can want to do business with a rebel general. What are you talking about?
You're joking, man. Steve,
but that's why I say you don't. That's.
Steve, you're a joker.
Okay, no problem. All right, no problem. Thank you, Chief.
Charles to the Halalala connection. What are you talking about? Most rebel generals do have a lot of connections. I got a caller
on WhatsApp here. Caller, make your point really quick so I can get my caller on WhatsApp. I beg you, I've been having that caller on WhatsApp and not fair to that caller. Go ahead. Hello? Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from? They caller, you're not answering. Hello? Okay.
Yeah, Moses, how you doing?
My man, you called. Make your point, please. Who is this, please?
This is Sprint. I'm calling for Tennessee, the volunteer state.
Oh, Chief, make your point, my man. Make your point really quick. I got somebody on hold.
Yeah, I'm concerned with regards to the United Party, Jesus Walker. We learned that he came here to do campaign fundraising. Mm-hmm. Now I'm seeing raising funds for foundation. And that fund, whenever you raise funds for a foundation in the United States that is registered, it has to be reported to IRS, and it has to be used for the purpose of which the foundation will register for. So in essence, Jesus Walker recent for coming to the United States for a campaign fundraising is yet to materialize. And I hope the repeat of what happened in Rhode Island doesn't happen in this time again, because in Rhode Island, this foundation was revoked, the license was revoked by the IRS because of failure to report finances and.
My man, I can assure you on the show that we'll follow up with Joseph Yuma Boaka and the foundation. And if they refuse to provide adequate information, then we'll have to go. This is America. We're not going beyond your bro. We can pay small thing and shut up. Do that thing.
And you Yes, okay, out of my mouth, because since our foundation is registered in the United States and it's public, it's public, they have to post everything. If we put everything about that, they have to post that.
Most definitely.
We got to get that. We will not be the Costa radio station. $20,000 raise up to now. We don't know if Costa bought
it will not be that. It will not be the Costa and Built Our case. It will not be the Costa and Built Our case. Lead that team. We're not here for that team, man. Costa ain't gonna pass around putting no more they want. Nobody get time for that one. But thank you so much. Let me get the other callers. Thank you. The team want to joke with that. You gonna bring noise because that particular money, we got to follow that money. We got to know how to use. They ain't even see anything yet. We talking plenty. Yes, caller, what's your name? Where you calling from, please?
Yeah, Steve, this is Jan. Thank you for taking this call.
Yes, yeah, I'm very sorry. I'm very sorry I kept you on WhatsApp forever. Sorry, Chief.
No, it's okay. It's okay, brother. No, I just wanted to make a quick contribution here. I've listened to the show, and by the way, you're doing a great job, and thanks to Dwalo. Dwalo is a smart guy. I listened to him. But I think there is some flaw in his analysis of what is unfolding here. Number one, we got to desist from making this, all of these excuses for JMB every time. JMB was a vice president. They said that he could not do what he's supposed to do because he's a vice president. They asked him when he was a Senate, what bill did he pass? They said, well, he was only presiding. Now we're hearing from Dwalo again that the only way he can leverage those connections is if he was a president. That's when he can make use of the connection. I see this as a complete flaw. We cannot continue to make excuses for Joe, for Obama Joe. If he hasn't been doing it, there is no evidence he's going to do it. This notion that he couldn't do anything because he was the vice president. Mrs. Salih did not tell him to do this, or Mrs. Salih did not give him the opportunity. As a senator, he did not do that because he was only a senator. Okay? And then again, when you ask his accomplishment, they say, well, he didn't need an accomplishment. So we got to start making these excuses. Vice presidential position is key in any country. If even in this the West African belt, this man could have at least leveraged some connection that will be to his that will benefit him today. None of those happened. Like you said, you rightly said, Steve, he came to America. He went to other places where he made connection with people, where he spoke to people. And are you telling me that he couldn't make any connection? And then lastly, with this opposition unity, and let me say this, what would it look like? There is a trust level here. Yep. Unity Party decided that they were going to leave. And they did. But coming back, what would be the trust level? And keep in mind, with the new framework document, now there is a clause in it that says, anyone who joins the CPP now has to recognize that no one but Mr. Alexander Cumming is the standard bearer of the CPP. That cannot be compromised. Mr. Musa Hassan Belati is the chairman of the CPP. That cannot be compromised. So what will Joseph fit in? Is he coming in as an advisor? If that's the compromise they want to make, fine. But to say that, for those who think that the compromise means Mr. Cumming should go as number 2, it is not going to happen. It will not happen, and I can say that authoritatively, it is not going to happen. They can come in when they come. They have observed the rules of the new framework document, which they have to understand.
So yeah, quick question. Let me interrupt because you in the ANC as one of the leaders there. Let me interrupt you quick here, and I'll be bringing Yasendi on. She's been calling, but I've not been able to answer her. But let me bring you in. Let me ask you the question really quick. But you're willing to take Joseph Boakai in a CPP as vice president?
Well, look, again, I mentioned something earlier, Steve. There's a trust level here. See, when you sit in front of someone in court and say, this man, I don't know him, or if you know that what was being done to this man, Mr. Alexander Cumming, was wrong, and you knew he was being falsely accused, and this is a person that you knew from way back, the man that contributed to your foundation. You even have it as a video of you saying, my friend, we go back to CWA. All of these things, and you go to court and try to have him jailed, you try to have him prosecuted, you try to destroy his political life. Let's be very frank, Steve. The trust level is going to be something to deal with. Okay. If he comes back, how do we sit on the table with this guy knowing now? Again, keep in mind, another thing before I go here, Steve. This is a man, Joseph Boakai, who had not condemned Henry Costa for insulting Mr. Cummings left and right. And today he's hanging around Mr. Cummings, Mr. Costa, and they are going all over the place. Where is the trust level? We got to look at that before we start talking about opposition unity. And when you talk about opposition unity, last, let me just say this, Steve. Opposition is united. CPP is opposition. CPP is a combination of Liberty Party and the ANC. And within the next few weeks, there's going to be other political parties who will be joining this conversation. And now we're going to have a CPP. So if the notion that unity party should join before it becomes opposition unity, I think that's a flawed logic. And lastly, Dwalo, let me ask you this. Do you like what's happening to Boakai right now behind Costa? Are you okay with that, the way he's being treated? Taking him to places and sitting him in the basement? Is that how a statesman is supposed to be treated? I will leave that and I give
and holding the plastic bag behind Costa when they go to Wallace Market.
Plastic bag behind Costa. I mean, is this what we
expect? When they go to Wallace Market.
Let me give you.
Because I saw being fair. That's that weekend. That weekend when I went to Wallace Market, but I was not there. But next week I'll be there. I hope I see them in Wallace Market. I will drop for them. My papa want to ball in there. Watch and see.
Thank you, brother. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, let me call you.
Oh, let me say that about Jan real quick.
Mama, you be the last of time. Like you.
No, I know. Over 10 seconds. Just 10 seconds.
Okay, go ahead.
Jan is extremely level-headed, and I really appreciate his contribution. It elevated the conversation. I really appreciate that, Jan. All jokes aside.
Let me get you addressing.
Yeah, Sonny, go ahead.
Yeah, my Oma, what is going on?
Yeah, me, I wanted to add my voice. Steve, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. Well, hi, how are you? This is Yasini. Steve, I wanted to add my voice. I'm going to say a few things that I wanted to add my voice to that. He said, although the old men don't have to do most of the heavy lifting, but it's not a true statement. Okay? It is not an entirely true statement. Because it is a vision of the leaders that leads a country that treats the country. A good leader takes his people or people where they ought to be. So saying he's not going to be doing the heavy lifting, that is not entirely a true statement. This is what we did for we are. When the so-called educated people, including my brother, the Jennifer, Jigger of the world, what do you call it, Daniel Doe, the Dualu, okay? When it all came together, all of them came together and said, okay, we will do the work. We will just be the figurehead, or you will be a material candidate or the material president. That is not a true statement. So we are not going to go Liberia in that place. I love Waka. I respect him. I worked with Waka in this town many times with full expert security details. Mr. Cummings to her father that. Let me ask what he just said. When Waka went to court and said he didn't know Mr. Cummings, I posted that video because I had that video for hosting him here at the town hall. Okay? And even having state dinner for him. The second thing is, I heard another gentleman call from Canada and said, what do you call it, about Paul Kangabi. Paul Kangabi was already connected. He was a revolutionary, a Pan-Africanist. Maybe people don't know that. Okay? Paul Kangabi was part of the revolution that brought, okay, Mussolini to power. And in turn, Mussolini supported him. And the West supported him. And they continue to support him if you continue to do the right thing. So I'm not going to talk long today because I know you guys have been here long, but this is a debate that we have. Listen, change is not in reverse. We already know what we can do, and we know what Waka can do. And there's a gentleman who called from Liberia earlier and said, this is a serious person. That is not a true statement. Because Madam Ellen Johnson said the two things that she regrets in her presidency was she was unable to curb corruption. Corruption became a vampire under her reign. Also, another thing, she failed to reconcile the country. She said that to her own mouth. So if we say these are clean people, if under their leadership, the country became a vampire in corruption, then that's a disconnect to our logic. All right? So I don't want to go into it. My brother, I love the conversation, UNC. That's a democracy, where people come to the table and make that case and teach the population. So, Steve, I want to say thank you. The number thing, Obama did not have numbers. We, the people, decided there was time for change. and we decided we will put our shoes on, that we said, put our shoes on, start our street, and knock our door. That's what we did. And like Liberian people truly want change, this is exactly what we do. Instead of sitting like this, oh, we don't have the internet. You want to learn how to walk, and they get you walk on the bathroom with a wheel on it, you fall down 2-3 times, you will get it and walk. If we really do want to change, we'll fall, we'll put on our walk boots, and we'll knock the doors that we did here, right here in Georgia, okay, with the first black slave grandson. That's a wonder. We did that. We did that. So Liberia that we in that magic, it's possible. It's time for my family to retire. I do so. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, Dwalu, let's have you. Let me get this person for one. The person got one question for you. That's the last question for the day. That's it. After this, Dwalu will speak. We'll close the show because we are almost 3 hours now. Dwalu, can you imagine?
Yeah.
We get this person. Yeah, call up. What's your name? Where you calling from, please?
Good. Yeah, this is the boy again. Ben. So here is another thing that connection does, and I want Bradley to know to understand it. You see, when Costa lied about his radio station, in less than 2 hours, he was able to raise over $30,000. How come the former vice president, who he should have been televised that he was coming to this country, could only raise barely $22,000? That's a shame. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Well, that is a shame. Dwalu.
My brother, I want to thank Yesenia for her contribution. She's always level-headed, and she cannot argue against this. But I'm going to say this. My brother Jan asked a very important question, whether I support Honorable Boyka. I don't know how you describe it. I'm trying to paraphrase here. Taking plastic bag on Woodland Street in Philadelphia. Was that a good look for the CDC? I mean, for the UP party? That was the question, right, Stevie? I believe that was the question.
Yeah.
Listen, there was an executive team with the UP organization. What I think and what I say is inconsequential to whatever they're doing. So what I think is, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter one bit. Whether the image looks right, it's for the Liberian voting population to decide. It's not for me to decide. Now, people will spin it however they wanted to. It's up to them. And by the way, I know another brother asked a question when I support the president. We are never, ever, ever, ever would I ever dream of doing that. Not now, not before 2005. And number three, there is this tendency in Liberia. We all tend to do this. And I'm not suggesting anybody did this on the show, but there are a few insinuations where when you speak for a political organization, it is implied that you're seeking a job. I never, ever want to work in government, not today, not tomorrow. The day I got money, I'll run for president. That's the only job I will take in Liberia. If I have money, I run for the presidency. I don't want a government job today. I don't want a government job tomorrow, not ever. Because I believe my vision for what I have for Liberia is so progressive, so aggressive, that I don't see any president that can do it. We pick a man based on the options that are given to us. At the end of the day, let's talk about Liberia. Have your position. Maybe if you push your position and it makes more sense, we're going to look at those positions. Listen, this is making more sense. Let's move Liberia in this direction. But at the end of the day, it cannot be about you individually in your personal feelings about an individual. It has to be for the totality of the country. For the totality of the country. And as it stands right now, I believe Honorable Boyka is the best person suited to transform this country. I'm not shying away from that. I give it to you, Stephen.
Thank you so much, Walu. It's always an honor having you here. Guys, we're sorry if we didn't take your call. We missed your call. We're about the 3 hours mark here. We've gone over our time, way over our time. I will get in some trouble with the guys behind the scene who are helping us. But I'll make it up. You know, I know we missed Thursday's show. We couldn't miss today. You know, I know Sekou will be on with us tomorrow. He texted me. I think he overslept. Yeah, I think he overslept, but he went somewhere. I haven't even read the text. He went somewhere that he couldn't make it. I know they're planning some kind of program here today, and you know, so I believe that's where he's at. So he couldn't make it. The expectation you were going to make it, but he couldn't make it. But Sekou extends his greetings to all of us. He will be on tomorrow by the grace of God. Tomorrow, don't forget, we have our Councillor Jerome Verdia, who will be expounding on some legal issues going around. We'll also discuss the Stanton Witherspoon issue and the case as we speak. We also will have Representative Yeke Koloba for a brief moment as well to discuss some stuff. So please don't forget the Cash App number. I didn't even check the Cash App to find out, you know, who contributed. To our brothers and our sister back in Liberia, I want to say thank you so much for staying and sticking with us. I think it was a healthy and good conversation.
Yeah, I think so too.
Of the
but I gotta say this though, the ANC crowd is sophisticated, and I kind of appreciate that. They force you to think at a higher level, and I tend to enjoy that a lot.
Yeah, but I can also tell you here for a fact, Dwalu, that we've built a reputation that when anybody's our guest, I don't care what kind of relationship you have with Dwalu, he must be respected on this platform.
Oh yeah,
I mean, it's not respected whether through your comments or whatever you say, especially through the comments. We will not hesitate. Anybody, our viewer, of our guests.
I think everybody was cordial though. Everybody was, I didn't see any disrespect. It views, but no disrespect.
For the local thing, the Dwalu mayor gravitating towards the show.
But listen, let me tell you something. Stevie, I gotta say that before I run away. This is what I've always said about Mr. Cummings. And this is No, I'm not saying something about Mr. Cummings. I have a soft spot for Mr. Cummings that will always be there. Now, one day you hear me criticize Mr. Cummings because I believe if Liberia was thinking at the level that it should be, there is no argument. Mr. Cummings would be the most viable candidate in this race. But one thing Mr. Cummings is people forgetting to realize in our society, they're forgetting to put the context of Liberia into the reality that it is. And when you tell them that, they get angry at you. But you have to understand, our people do not vote on the person's capability to deliver to that society. They vote on superficial issues. There's a lot of things going on, man. It's a lot of things. And sometimes when you say them, people get mad at you. And I get it. But like I said, I won't be able to go to Atlanta and call B sister Yasini. I know she will welcome me at her house. Say, hey, Dwalu, come to have some lunch. And I will see no malice there. That's what I want. I won't go to Arizona and see the Dwalu, but make come to my house to eat. That's what I want. I don't want it to be that, oh, my man, you support John Brown, so you can't come to my house. These are the issues I don't want, personally.
Well, thank you, Dwalu, my man. You're always welcome today. You should feel easy. You already know. You already know we're brothers.
Well, let's see, the next ANC, the next ANC fundraiser, I will actually make a contribution just to make sure there's no bad blood there. I got no qualms about them. The issue here is it's the winnability factor. And when you say it, you're going to get in trouble. But we here.
Yeah, I agree with you, man.
It's a pleasure.
Yes. Let's get you on the record. Who are you for tomorrow? The Super Bowl. The man run away.
East Coast. Philadelphia. I'm going here. Philadelphia. All day.
I'm gonna ask you one question. You that you're on the money the ego. My man, join me, my man. Let's go for the Chiefs, my man. You already in the red, you low
the Chiefs. This is the East Coast, man. You're not Chiefs, we're going outside. They're giving win. Let's see tomorrow.
My man, let's support the Chiefs. Let's see. Let's support the Chiefs.
It's like the Patriots not in the game. We won enough. So it's time for other people to win something. You guys
are very good. Your Patriot, your New England Patriot, you get high here.
Yeah, I mean we used to win here. We used to win here, but this year we trying to formulate new things. My Chelsea losing every single day. They're not doing nothing good. So.
Yeah, but I won't buy shares in Chelsea the while looking at it.
You got up there. You're laughing. The share prices have dropped tremendously. This is the time to buy. Because those players they're buying, they're going to develop those players aggressively. So this is the time to buy. Yeah, it's the time to buy.
The team will become competitive, and whatever share you have, you can sell it out and make some huge money later on down the line. Look, all your Eagle fans, let me tell you today. All your Eagle fans, let me know. Tomorrow we'll start the show. When I want to see Eagle fans, let's show you. If you Eagle fan, man, I'll show you. So fair, you are part
of you about.
The Chiefs, man. Thank you so much. You have a good night. You have a good afternoon. Thank you so much for the show today. While the opposition trying to find friend, let me go put myself in finding my own friend. Well, that enjoyment time the whole weekend. That enjoyment time.